Chapter 4. Oh! What do you mean a murder of crows? You best be fucking lying. Ugh. Noah rolled over in his bed until he hit something solid. Something solid and warm and fleshy, which was not the finest combination of things to find in bed when you were not expecting it. I know that's what a group of crows is called, but it says a murder of crows, and Crow is our friend, and we just, in the dream world that we aren't sure is August, but we're pretty sure is August, and then August in this world just said that he would watch over, like, Noah like a crow with treasure because Noah was his treasure. And now it said a murder of crows. I'm stressed. What the... Ivan rolled over next to him, stretching out his shoulder and yawning. How the hell did you get in here? Your friend let me in. Who? On your couch. Stop talking to me, I'm sleeping. He rolled over, giving Noah the cold shoulder. Right. Kane! Sitting on his couch with a face both serious and exhausted was Kane. Morning. I think, anyway. Glad to see you're alive? Kane continued to stare at his hands, which sat in his lap. Noah took a few steps closer. Everything all right? Everything's perfect. Just perfect. Let out a long, drawn-out sigh. They fired me. I'm sorry, and I nearly lost you. I was fine. What if you weren't? What if Luca really did kill you? I knew it was dangerous. I knew that when I agreed to come with you, okay? But this is too much. I didn't ask you to come. You said you wouldn't try to stop me going. Until I proved that Crow couldn't possibly be August. You saw that story Luca showed us, as well as I did, Noah. It said he wasn't human, that he came into existence there. What more proof could you be searching for? It doesn't prove anything. Luca's always been a liar. I don't think he was lying. So you believe him over me? What? No. Noah, that's not what I mean at all. Then what do you mean? I mean that I could just tell it was true. Did you see his reaction? It couldn't be anything but true. That doesn't prove anything. He could have forgotten. He could have gotten stuck there. Why are you so quick to abandon him? Why are you so set on trusting a stranger over your best friend? Well, I don't know. Maybe because this is my one chance to save someone I couldn't save before. And what about Rosemary? That was really her. She's stuck in there and she needs help. Why does it have to be you that helps her? Why shouldn't it be me? I have this ability whether I like it or not. Why shouldn't I use it for good? Why should I turn the other way just because it's a little dangerous? I'm not here to argue, Kane got up from the couch, and Noah finally noticed the tears in the corner of his eyes. With his long legs, he took big steps forward until he stood in front of Noah. He wrapped his arms around the black-haired man and buried his face in his shoulder. Noah stood, stunned, before he gently rubbed his back. I wouldn't go back on something that I said to you, but I don't want to lose you too. I can't. It's not fair. Haven't you ever thought maybe your life would be better if those people were gone? Noah pulled back, a frown on his face. Yeah, and? Then why not just... What's wrong with you? Of all the people in the world, I thought you would be the kind of person who would care the most about people dying. I don't care about anyone else. I just want you to be safe and happy. That's all that matters. If you want me to be happy, then just leave me alone. You keep talking about you. You don't want to be alone. You don't want anything to happen to me. You don't want to lose me. But what about what I want? Maybe if you did lose me, you would feel even a fraction of the pain I felt when the only person who ever cared about me was taken from me. Oh, that was the wrong thing to say. I didn't mean... Ouch. Ivan stood in the doorway to Noah's bedrooms, arms crossed. The only person. I'm going out. Where? To see Crow in person. You can keep believing he's not real all you want. I watched August die with my own eyes, Noah. It's not him. I don't believe you. You weren't there. No, you weren't there. Noah opened his door before slamming it shut behind him. Fuck. I'm sick of being stuck in there. I need some fresh air. It's like my life is stuck on repeat. Kane just keeps coming over, telling me to stop. And then it hit Noah. He wasn't nervous or scared to be outside. Instead, the sight of the blue sky above him filled him with ease. I'm going to see him. Right now, I'll see him. You exist somewhere under the sky, don't you? And you're waiting for me. His feet carried him faster and faster to the place they said they would meet. Hopefully they don't recognize me. I know we paid our bill in the end, but still. The waitress showed Noah to his seat, and he ordered a drink, feeling nervous. Another body has appeared with similar markings to previous cases, this time a young adult by the name of Luca Bellworth. The police released a statement early this morning. Noah turned away from the TV, tuning it out. So he's really dead. Serves him right, really. Can't say I feel sorry for the guy. Still, it's not how I wanted it to turn out. The waitress set down Noah's soda, in it 5 cubes of ice. Half an hour passed. Noah watched the clouds crawl by lazily without a care in the world. An hour passed. Noah tapped his fingers against the table impatiently. 2 hours passed. Noah watched as the last of his ice cubes melted away into his soda. He sipped it. It tasted of nothing in particular at this point. No one turned up. A wave of tiredness washed over Noah. I'll just close my eyes for a second. Yeah, then you'll be here when I wake up. You just sleeping in that restaurant after you dined and dashed? Oh. Noah sat up from his table. The cafe was empty. The waitresses were gone and the kitchen was silent. His eyes, now hurried, traveled back to the seat across from him. You're here. Crow smiled a little, but it seemed a little different to his usual smile. I'll order us some drinks. But as he said that, he realized there was no one around to order drinks from. The world outside the windows had ground to a halt. This is a dream? Yeah, I'm sorry for being late. It took me a while to set everything up. Noah felt a sudden weight over his entire being, on his very soul. You said you exist here, and that was enough, but what Lucas said. You wonder, am I really, truly real? No, I suppose I'm not. Then what are you? Just a nobody who exists to help you, that's all. What Lucas said was true, mostly. But it makes no sense. What about August? I've never been August. I wanted to pretend if it would help you, but it was too painful. Too painful to pretend to be someone so important to you. Someone I could never be. But you look just like him. I know. He's not August. Kane was right. August is dead. The thought that August was truly gone made him feel numb. Yet for some reason, as he looked at Crow, he felt almost at peace with it. I'm sorry, Noah. I'm sorry I lied. I tricked you. I wanted you to... I thought if I wish I was him. I wish I could be him for you. If you hate me, if you want me to go away, then I'll understand. His words had become a pained whisper as he stared downwards, too afraid to meet Noah's eyes. I don't hate you. You're not August, but deep down, didn't I already know that? You've always been Crow. What? Crow's downcast eyes, a deep green, finally met Noah's. You're Crow. You're not a nobody. And I like you for who you are. Noah. But there's so much I don't understand. So much that doesn't make sense. What are you, really? I am a kind of being who can only exist in dreams. I've been here for 6 or so years, waiting. Alone? For all that time? The pain of being alone for so long. The two had shared that. But it's okay. I can't actually feel loneliness, you see, or much of anything else. I wasn't made to feel emotions, so... Then why are you crying? Oh, so this is what it feels like. He raised his hands to his face, feeling at his tear-drenched cheeks. I don't know. What's happening to me? Before, I'd never... What is this heavy feeling in my chest? Noah couldn't wait a moment longer. He jumped to his feet and pulled Crow into an embrace. He buried his face into Noah's shoulder, tears overflowing as he hiccuped and wailed. It's okay. You don't have to talk about it. Not now, at least. Later. Crow nodded into his shoulder. I wanna keep helping you. Of course. I need all the help I can get. You'd have me? Even after I lied? You didn't lie. You just told me what I wanted to hear. August is gone. Crow shook his head again before placing his palm on Noah's chest over his heart. He's still in here. Always. Noah pulled away as Crow finally grew silent. Luca died. He caused pain for you before, didn't he? But I'm still sorry. You tried your best to save him. We all did. Before? Crow shook his head, still looking somewhat sad. It's nothing. I just thought it seemed like you didn't get along very well. You'd be right. Back when I was in school, I did wish he would just die, just so I could be left alone, but throwing away a life so easily doesn't feel right, does it? I'm glad someone agrees with me. Someone? Kane. He's always starting arguments with me, telling me I should just accept their deaths and move on. He talks like I should just count it as a favor or something. That seems unlike him, right? Perhaps he's struggling just as you are. I don't think he wants to lose you, Noah. I know that. Kane's strange behavior aside, do you have any other ideas? Clues for who might be targeted next? Well, I thought after seeing her, maybe Rosemi could be targeted next. Her and I got along in secret, but in public, no one knew we were friends. Though friends is a stretch. Did you manage to help her? Right before Luca's dream broke down, I tried to grab her, but she disappeared. I don't know how it's possible, but she's stuck inside the dream world in the flesh, unaging and unchanging. How she's still alive, I have no clue. I'm glad she is. Rosemi, I don't know of her. When did you meet her? A little after... A little bit before I dropped out of school. Crow nodded in sympathy. Okay, that would explain it. Then we need to find her as soon as possible. But be careful, Noah. I'm worried that whoever is targeting these people is closer than we expect. It's Ivan, isn't it? Yeah, I'll be careful. Oh, shit. Do you think it could be Ivan? Ivan? The white-haired one? Yeah, did you notice the markings on his body? Yeah, I did. I don't know why he has them, just don't trust anyone too much, okay? What about you? Can I trust you? I'll always be on your side, no matter what. Although, I admit that it is a little ironic telling you not to trust anyone too much than saying something like that. Yet, Noah felt that it was true. Deep within himself, he knew Crow's words were truthful. Can I ask you something? Of course. You said you spent 6 years alone. When I'm not here, what do you do? I wait for you. Noah frowned. For some reason, those 4 words seemed awfully lonely. Why? Well, what else should I do? That's what I'm here for, to help you. There's nothing else to do. I suppose occasionally I'll visit people's dreams just to get a glimpse of the real world. I never thought of that. He's never seen the real world. That's so sad. Do you want to see it? That's not possible. Why not? I don't have a body. I'm more like an imaginary friend, I suppose. Whereas you're flesh and blood and truly alive. What if it was possible? What would you want to see? Outside, the sun was shining to set over the horizon, blue turning to orange. He would look pretty in the sunset, too. Well, it's nothing. It's too childish. Will you tell me anyway? I would simply wake up early and watch the sunrise, to feel the warmth on my skin at the magical time of day. At some point, Crow would put his hand to the window as he watched the sunset. That's it. I told you it was silly. It's not silly. It's not silly at all. That's a beautiful wish. Thank you, Noah. When I was younger and my family, we were all a lot closer. We went on a trip together far from the city. We watched the sunset, all four of us, and then the sky filled with stars. So many I couldn't believe it. I think you'd like that too. The two had been inching closer and closer, so close they were nearly touching. Crow's cheeks were tinged with pink, and Noah's were much the same. It sounds wonderful. I wish I could see it with you. Then why don't we make a promise to go there? Go together. But I can't. Neither of the two men were sure which had leaned forward first, but it took only a minute for their faces to be inches apart. Noah's breath hitched in his throat. He could feel Crow's shaky breaths, feel his warmth, almost hear his heart beat out of his chest. If that wasn't real, then what was? Noah closed his eyes, but the feeling he was expecting never came. Crow jumped back, looking bewildered. It's about time you went back. If you skip out of paying again, you'll probably get in trouble. Crow's eyes were on anything but Noah. Shit, you're right. I'll go then, I guess. And we'll meet up later and try to find Rosamy. Yeah. Doesn't feel emotions, my ass. As Noah turned to leave, he was hit with an emotion he hadn't felt in a while. I don't want to go. I want to stay here with him. What will you do until later? Just wait for me? Noah closed his eyes, waiting for that nostalgic feeling to wash over him, the feeling of free-falling that always came when he shifted between realities. He waited, and waited a little longer. Finally, he opened his eyes. What's wrong? It's not working. What do you mean, not working? Usually I just start falling, but nothing's happening. Huh? Crow, with still reddened cheeks, took a few steps closer to Noah once again and put his hand against his forehead. I can send you off. See you later, Noah. Noah closed his eyes again, and once again, nothing happened. What the? It really isn't working, is it? How can it not be working? This dream shouldn't belong to anyone. It is a realm I created painstakingly from your memories, but it's like someone has claimed it, and they're anchoring us here. So we're stuck here until we find that person? Or the dream collapses. But it seems stable for now. Relief washed over Noah, relief that took him a moment to recognize the reason behind. I wasn't ready to leave him yet. What's that? With a frown, Crow turned to follow Noah's gaze. Just outside the window, it seemed to be raining. Raining, shining, glossy bubbles. Does it usually do that? No. Come on, let's go check it out. Still a little flushed, the pair left the cafe behind, the stillness inside being replaced by the rhythmic pattering of bubble-like raindrops on the pavement. Yay! Ah! Pop, 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 pop. I wish I could pop these with my mouse. Noah slowly reached out towards one of the shimmering rainbow bubbles. It burst with a gentle pop, leaving behind a scent that reminded him of summer, of freshly cut grass in particular. That's Weird. That's weird. That's suspicious. It's very beautiful, though. Crow reached out as well, but the bubbles didn't burst against his skin. Instead, it gently rested on the end of his fingertip. With a smile, he held it out to Noah, so close that he went cross-eyed before putting it on the end of his nose. A moment later, and it popped, which Crow couldn't help but laugh at. I apologize, but it was an opportunity I could not miss. Noah extended his hand once again, this time carefully catching a bubble rather than popping it, and repeated Crow's actions, placing it carefully on the tip of Crow's nose. The way it shifts the world around me. Amazing. Have you never played with bubbles before? No, I haven't. To be honest, it never even crossed my mind before I met you. The two walked side by side through the street, the emptiness both calming and somewhat alarming. The bubbles kept falling and popping around them for some time longer before even they stopped. Is this what it's like in your world? Do you walk down the street just like this? Well, there's usually all the honking that comes with living in the city, but yeah, mostly. Have you never been here before? Crow shook his head sadly. I've seen only small glimpses of your world through the dreams of others. I've never walked the streets of where you live. These towering structures that pierce into the sky, the feeling of the ground beneath my feet, walking side by side with you, it almost feels as if I was truly real. You're here now, isn't that enough? Right, I did say that, didn't I? I'm sorry, it's these... Crow held his hands to his chest, his fingers digging into the cloth ever so slightly. These feelings within my chest, they're making me act strange, aren't they? You're not strange. Feelings make us all act differently sometimes. Perhaps, but it feels as though every action I take is 10 times harder. Every word spoken to me is heard 10 times over. The weight in my chest is excruciating, if I was to be honest. You never would have told me any of this before. You were so secretive. You always had a smile. I love your smile, but this feels more like your honest self. I can't imagine going from not having feelings to suddenly having them. It's fine. I will tame them. You can express yourself in front of me. I won't run away. Thank you, Noah. The pair walked onwards, in search of something neither of them quite knew. A person, an object, whatever was holding them here, or whoever had closed off the dream. But no matter how far they went, they couldn't find anyone. It's like searching for a needle in a haystack. How are we meant to find anyone in such a big city? I've never seen a dream this large. I created the cafe based on your memories. The rest was supposed to be a simple backdrop, but it seems your imagination is quite powerful. This is a replica of your city in its entirety. If it's a full replica, we could try my house. Your house? Right. Humans have their own homes to return to, don't they? And you don't? Well, I suppose the abyss between dreams is my home. That endless, white, bleak place. You know, my place is pretty big for one person. My home can be your home, too. If you wanted a place to call home where you weren't alone. Oh, well, I would like that. Didn't take long for Noah and Crow to find the entrance to Noah's apartment. It was exactly like real life, if not for the fact everything was completely empty. Noah wouldn't have been able to tell the difference. Noah held the door open for Crow as he entered, and they rode the elevator up in silence. It seemed like the blonde-haired man hadn't ever been in an elevator before, and he was quietly dazzled by the various buttons. He pushes every button on the way up. Sorry for the, mess. This is your house? As always, the floor was littered with canvases, both used and unused, and splattered with paint. Seems just like your soul. What? A little bit messy, sure, but filled with color. There's not a surface that isn't covered with your imagination. Crow walked into the room further, his eyes traveling from piece to piece in wonder, and his fingers trailing over many of the dried paintings. For all the chaotic disarray that lay around them, Crow saw something beautiful in the way each canvas blended into the next, forming a tapestry of color and emotion that spoke of Noah's loneliness and his longing for connection. The same exact feelings that he himself now possessed. It's beautiful, just as you are. Though, we could at least neaten things up a little bit. Not that there's much point within a dream, I suppose. I knew you could paint, but I'd never seen your work before. You really are amazing, Noah. Crow stepped backwards and stumbled over a stack of canvases, nearly falling to the ground. Noah was quick to react, catching Crow against his chest and holding him steady. Ah, thank you, Noah. I should watch where I'm going more carefully. Noah's grip on him softened, but he didn't let go just yet. They stood there in silence for a moment before he finally spoke up again. Have you ever tried it? Tried what? Painting? Well, no, I don't think so. Not directly. Do you want to try it? Crow blinked a few times, surprised. Right now? While I appreciate the offer, is this the best time? Will there ever be a good time for what kind of thing between us? We always meet in a dream, in a rush for me to leave. Please? I would be delighted to paint with you, Noah, though I imagine I'm not very good. That was all he needed to hear. He let go of Crow finally and went about the room, collecting his supplies. Everything was exactly where he left it in the real world. His blank canvases, his paint, his brushes. Finally, with everything in hand, he sat Crow down in front of his easel and stood behind him. What should I paint? Anything you want. Anything your heart desires. His first stroke was timid, as if he was testing the waters of his ability to create. The next came fast, and the third was faster still. Line after line, paint spread across the canvas, each stroke bolder and more confident than the last. As Noah watched, he felt a warmth in his chest. It was as if he was witnessing the birth of something new, something beautiful. It was like he was painting for the very first time once again. In his bedroom, much younger than he is now, with someone important sitting across from him. Noah smiled as his heart ached as Crow's passion came alive. Colors that had once seemed so dull and lifeless to Noah's lonely world now burst with vibrancy and vitality. He couldn't quite decipher what exactly Crow was painting, but that didn't matter to him. He was simply lost in the way Crow's face lit up with each brushstroke, how his eyes widened with surprise at the way the colors mixed and mingled together. It really had been far too long since Noah had last painted with someone else. Art for him was always a solitary act, a way to escape the world he'd found himself trapped in. But now he could see that art was always best when shared with another person. Slowly but surely, his painting came together. It showed the open sky with lacy clouds drifting overhead, a lush meadow with a single sheep far in the distance grazing. Of course, it looked somewhat like a child had painted it, but that was to be expected someone's first time painting. This is a little embarrassing, especially when I'm surrounded by all of your beautiful paintings. Your work has a lot more soul than mine has had in a long time. It's you. Me? I'll leave you to work out the meaning yourself. Crow raised a finger to his lips that said once again that he wouldn't explain any further. I wish I could take this with me when I leave, Noah muttered to himself, so low that Crow could only barely hear his words. I wish that too, Crow muttered back, sadness in his voice evident. He stood and stretched out his shoulders with a yawn, which surprised Noah somewhat. He'd never heard him yawn or notice him get tired. Leaving his painting to dry, Crow made his way over to Noah's couch, sitting down beside a stack of stray pieces of paper. They were filled with various things Noah had sketched over the years. Tentatively, Noah sat down beside him. Doesn't seem like we'll find a way for you to leave here. Is that so bad? Surely a little break wouldn't hurt. You seem tired. Tired? I am tired. How strange. I believe this is the first time I've ever felt this lethargic feeling throughout my body. Perhaps you're more human than you thought. If only. Time seemed to slow as Crow leant his head onto Noah's shoulder. It was a simple and small movement, but Noah still felt his body tense up. Do you find me difficult to be around? Why would I? Because I look like him, and you loved him very much? I would say not anymore, because I think he's starting to see Crow as his own person a little bit. I did before. I'm sorry. No, wait, please, listen. Of course I found it difficult, because I wished you were him. I wished you were August so badly. Noah thought back on all his past experiences with Crow, all the time they'd spent together. I forgot to turn the music back up. He enjoyed them because he was Crow, not because he looked like August. But I think I always knew you weren't him. You two are alike in so many ways, but different in 1,000 other ways. You were never gonna be him. And that's a good thing, because you're you, and I like you how you are. Really? Yeah. Anyone else looking in on this situation would say you were crazy. Well, maybe I am. I'm happy to be crazy if it means I was given the chance to meet you. Sorry, I'm rambling like an idiot now. I just mean I'm glad we met. And even more glad we actually can spend some time together. Crow? The gentle sound of someone lulled into a quiet sleep came from the man leaning against Noah's shoulder. His face looked serene while he slept. His long, dark eyelashes sat against his soft skin, and his chest gently rose and fell. Sleeping like that, it was hard to imagine him as anything but human. I regret so much. The years of my life I wasted, everything that happened with Cain, running away. He wasn't speaking to anyone in particular. These words just spun around in his mind, begging to be let free. What I'm doing now doesn't fix anything, but if helping these people can be the first step towards moving on, then I'll take it. Hesitantly, Noah placed his hand on top of Crow's head. His hair was soft to the touch, and he couldn't help but gently run his fingers through it. What about you? You keep telling me that you'll do anything to help me, but what do you want? I wish you would be a little selfish, too. They stayed like that for some time before Crow stirred. Noah couldn't help but feel disappointed. In all honesty, he would have happily stayed like that for longer. It was a calming feeling to have someone sleep beside you. Crow sat up slowly at first before practically jumping to the other side of the couch in surprise. I apologize. Nothing to apologize for. He really must have been tired. A look of visual confusion came over his face. I dreamed. Really? I've never dreamed before. I've never slept before. I guess there's a first time for everything? But why now? From everywhere and nowhere at all, the sound of a ticking clock spread through the air, echoing through the empty room and streets beyond. Crow and Noah jumped to their feet, eyes dashing from shadow to shadow, searching for any sign of danger. Where is that coming from? It seems to be a very part of the dream itself. Come on, let's check outside. Crow opened the door, but Noah stepped through first. On the other side, he saw the hallway that led to the elevator that would take him outside. Yet as soon as he set foot outside his door, he found himself somewhere else. What the... Noah turned back around to where the door he just stepped through should have been, but it was gone. Crow was nowhere in sight. Shit, we got split up. Noah! Noah, you shouldn't curse in front of your parents. He's a grown man now. We ought to give him a break. Oh, don't get soft on him now, dear. Noah turned to face the two familiar voices in what felt like slow motion. His mother and father stood side by side, looking at him with an expression that said they weren't at all surprised to see him. This is just a dream. It's a dream that originated from my mind if what Crow said was true. Mom? Dad? You must be tired, dear. Why don't you come lay down for a while? Noah shook his head. I can't. I have somewhere to be. Someone needs me. Someone that needs you more than your parents? Yeah. Even after you left us to die? I didn't. You wouldn't even help your father after I passed. But we forgive you. Forgiveness is important, don't you think? We can all be a family again. No, fuck you. You guys were terrible. I don't... but how? But his dad did try to reach out to him after his mom died. Well, our whole thing was that we were supposed to try and forgive and forget. We were gonna forgive, like, not forgive Luca, but we didn't want him to die. Fuck, I need to save. At this point, I'm ready to say I forgive you too if that means I can leave. Is that all you care about? Leaving us all over again? You forced me to leave. Instead of blaming me for that, take a look in the mirror. I'm ready to move on. Move on from us? Move on from the past. You're a part of the past now too. I'm ready to give up everything that hurt me before. Goodbye, Mom. Goodbye, Dad. There was a pause before they both smiled. Goodbye, Noah. The two people disappeared, leaving only sparkling dust where they once stood. Noah's eyes went back to the place he'd entered from. The door had reappeared. Crow! He dashed to the door, rushing back in search of Crow. Noah's heart quickened as he stepped into the classroom, the same one he spent countless hours in as a student. The room was shrouded in darkness, the only light coming from the moon that peeked in through the windows. As Noah's eyes adjusted, he saw Mr. Floyd standing by his old desk, looking out the window. He seemed solemn in a way. The years had etched lines into his face, and Noah could see the weariness in his eyes. Noah? So now it's you. Mr. Floyd leant back on his desk, half sitting on the surface. He smiled at Noah warmly. It's good to see you again so soon. There was no regret or anger or sadness left in his voice. Time has washed away their past misunderstandings and mistakes, leaving only acceptance and forgiveness in its wake. Noah took a step towards the man, the weight of the past lifted off his shoulders. Not much left to say between us, is there? Noah shook his head. It was true. They'd forgiven each other already. I'm proud of the person you become, Noah. You're only going to go further and further as long as you look to the future. Thanks, Mr. Floyd. Wait, oh no! Oh no! Oh, because this feels like, you know, when you're ready to pass on. What if I say I'm ready to move on, but I don't mean like I'm ready to move on as in like die. I'm ready to like move on from the past. Oh God. Oh no, I need to save again. Okay, I'm hoping it's just between me and Mr. Floyd. Like, we're ready to move on, and I'm ready to move on. Good, I knew you would be. I won't keep you any longer. You have someone waiting for you, don't you? Yeah, thanks, Mr. Floyd. Oh, no. Oh, I'm so worried. Are you happy now? Happy? Your friend who got married. Did you ever... Oh, so you remembered that. Yeah, I'm happy. I moved on and I found my new happiness. I hope you found yours too. With that, he disappeared, leaving behind a trail of sparkles. Noah turned away, finding the door behind him once again. He entered it quickly, knowing full well he could end up anywhere. Noah's heart swelled with emotion as he stepped towards the riverbank, the water glittering in the bright sunlight. He could hear the soft rush of the current, the rustling of leaves in the gentle breeze. And there, sitting on a large rock in the middle of the river, was his brother, Asher. So we meet again. Asher. Been a long time, hasn't it? Since you ran away, since we last saw each other properly. Yeah, well, we didn't exactly part on the best of terms. We'll probably never be on the best of terms. Probably not. Noah stood on the bank, unsure of what to do or say next. The silence hung heavy in the air between them, broken only by the gentle lapping of the water against the rocks. But then Asher stood up, his face serious and determined. I don't forgive you, and you don't forgive me. That's right. So why don't we just start over? I'm ready to let the past be the past. Oh, wait! I clicked a button. Yes, I'm ready to. Okay, I clicked a button. I was like, oh God, I need to know what these choices are. I'm ready for that too. I want to move on. I'm tired. We've both lost enough. Message me back, alright? Yeah, maybe. You asshole. He disappeared too, like all the others, becoming one with the river that ran around him. This time he didn't run or rush. He slowly walked back through the door that would hopefully bring him closer to the source of that ticking and to Crow. The room was exactly as Noah remembered it, minus all the people that made it truly feel like a club. He hesitated as he stepped into the familiar art club room. It was empty and dark. And then he saw him, Luca, sitting in his old seat, his eyes fixed on Noah. "Hello again, Noah. Yoo-hoo, over here." "Luca? Didn't expect to see you again so soon. Do I really take up such a large part of your mind? Aw, I'm blushing." The air was thick with tension. "Are you here to kiss and make up with me then?" "You're dead, Luca. You got what was coming for you." "Boo. Noah celebrating death is no way to move forward." "I mean, he didn't kill any of us. He just, offed himself, so... And this whole thing is about forgiving these people. For the sake of moving on, maybe I'll forgive you one day. Not today, though." "Boy, you really changed, haven't you?" "Maybe I have." "What caused it?" "Someone reminded me what it means to be alive, what it means to truly exist. And I've decided to follow his example." "Ho-ho, the August look-alike." "His name's Crow." Right, Crow." He slowly disappeared, twinkling sparkles falling to the floor. Noah turned towards the door that appeared once again. As he stepped closer and closer still, the tick-tock sound of the clock seemed to become louder. "Crow!" He jumped through the door and found himself in a place he wouldn't have expected to come out of his own mind. The same empty space between dreams that Crow had called home his entire life. A stark white void that seemed endless was awaiting him. He took a deep breath as the pain of Crow's loneliness hit him like a hammer. He could feel it from everywhere, as if it was a physical weight pressing down on him. As he walked forward, he could hear the sound of voices growing louder and more chaotic. He quickened his pace, his heart beating faster with each step. A tight crowd of people that seemed to be made of shadows surrounded a person, who had curled up into a ball in the center of their writhing mass. Noah tried to push through them, but it was like their very beings blurred at the edges, and they became an impenetrable wall. "You're a fake. You'll never be good as he was. Noah's only here because you remind him of August. Fake August, fake August." "Crow! Crow, I'm here!" His voice was drowned out by the crowd, lost to oblivion. "You're not needed. You only hurt him further. You're nothing more than a memory of the past. You'll never be your own person." No, please. "Crow, can you hear me? I'm here." No matter how much he yelled out, his voice was being overwhelmingly drowned out by the crowd's incessant chatter. He pushed against them with all his body weight, struggling as they pushed back. "If this all came from my mind, then I'm the one in control here. Let me through." Slowly but surely, the wall of people began to split from each other, and Noah pushed between them, one step at a time, getting closer and closer to Crow. With one final shove, he stood over Crow's body, which had become as small as possible as he held his knees to his head. Noah knelt down, wrapping his arms around the man. "Don't listen to them. Don't listen to them. They're not real." "Like, I'm not real?" "No, you're real. You're real and enough and plenty." "I'm no different to them." "Fake, you're a fake." "You have to get up, Crow. Don't listen to them." "They're right, Noah. I might look like this, but I'm not different from them." "Please don't listen to them." Abruptly, the crowd's jeers and taunts turned into hushed whispers, and the crowd parted once again. "It's her. The Lady of Dreams, here to save us. Here to give us our humanity." Like an angel descending from heaven, the writhing mass separated completely, and in its place was a young woman with pink hair. "Rosamie!" Crow finally looked up from his place on the ground. His eyes were red and his cheeks were wet. "Noah, what am I doing here? Who are all these people?" Noah could feel something from her. A pull, so to speak. This was her dream now. So you're the one who was keeping us here." What?" "I guess this saves us some time anyway. We were gonna come find you so you can go home." Noah stood up from his position on the ground, still holding on to Crow, who he pulled up beside him. Crow still shrunk back away from the shadows like creatures. "Why are they calling you that?" "I don't know. God, I really don't know anything. I keep being pulled from place to place." Noah looked back towards Crow. He seemed to look worse and worse as the seconds ticked by. "We need to get out of here, Rosamie. Can you take us back to my apartment?" And how in the hell am I meant to do that? I don't know, but you better work it out quick. The crowd began pushing and shoving again, closing in on the trio. Rosamie instantly jumped out in front of Noah and Crow with her arms out, holding the people back. Wait. What do you all want? Bless us with your humanity, O princess. I'm no princess, you stupid black blobs. That sounds more like the Rosamie I remember. Please, grant us flesh. Hey, get back. Rosamie took a step towards the shadowy crowd, her dyed pink hair flowing out behind her. As she reached out towards one of them to stop their fast encroachment, a bright light filled the area around the trio. When the light cleared, the shadowy crowd had disappeared. In their place were tangible beings with flesh and bones and beating hearts. Noah watched in amazement as the people slowly woke up from their dreamlike state, taking in their new surroundings. Thank you, Your Highness. Thank you. Thank you for our flesh. We will use it well. What the hell? Rosamie stood there, still processing what had just happened. Neither she, nor Noah, nor Crow understood what had just happened. The dreamlike crowd dispersed until the trio were left in the empty blink dream. You gonna explain yourself? Look, you may have gotten older, but you haven't gotten any smarter, have you? I told you, I have no clue. What happened to the teary Rosamie from before? Back to normal, I see. That was weeks ago, Noah. Weeks? We literally saw each other yesterday. Since what happened with Luca, I've been in tens or maybe hundreds of dreams. How the... Time can sometimes pass somewhat differently here. Time passes differently here? Crow finally piped up again, though his eyes still lingered on the ground. He didn't want to speak up at that moment. That much Noah could tell. Then, the years you waited for me. That explains things, I guess. It both feels like just yesterday I was not here, yet it also feels like an eternity. We can talk about this properly later. Come on, let's try to get out of here first of all. Aw, good. Rosamie nodded in agreement and began to lead the way. Noah hung back slightly, unsure about how to handle Crow, whose eyes were still red and downcast. In the end, he decided to interlock their fingers together and quickly Noah pulled him along to catch up to Rosamie. Where exactly are we going? Good question. Just feels like this is the way. She walked forward, and the landscape around them began to change, morphing into different scenes as they walked. They passed through a forest, a desert, an abandoned city, before they finally came to a stop back in the bleak white realm they began in. Except now they were standing in front of a small, rickety door, the only thing visible in the vast expanse of white surrounding them. Well, this could be it. Better than staying here, that's for sure. Rosamie opened the door with a creak, then stepped through first. Crow held on to Noah's hand tighter. I'm sorry. My heart feels much too heavy. What they said was a lie. It hurts because it's true, Noah. Don't let go, okay? I won't let us get split up again. Okay. The pair walked through together, a blinding white light flooding their vision as they did so. The world around them dissolved into a blur of colors and shapes for a moment, before it all began to finally form a familiar landscape. They were back in Noah's apartment, or at least in a dream version of it. What the? This is your place? Got a problem with it? It's a dump. Seriously, this is a bit of a step down from your parents' place. Well, my parents are dead. What? Seriously? We should explain everything that's been happening to you. She fell down onto Noah's couch, her eyes never leaving him. That'd be good. I don't know how much time we have, so I'll give it to you in short. Loads of people that I know have been turning up dead back in the, for lack of a better term, back in the real world. Someone is going around people's dreams and killing them. Why would killing someone in their dreams lead to them actually dying? Humans, when they dream, their souls come with them. The same can be said for humans like Noah, who can enter other people's dreams. Killing a human severs their soul connection to their body, which in turn leads to death. So Crow and I have been trying to help people that are being targeted. which was going well until Luca made it impossible to help him. So he's really dead? Yeah, I'm sorry. Then what about me? Why am I here? That's something we have to work out. What's the last thing you remember? I was walking by myself at night in the mountains near home. I had a fight with my parents and I stormed out. Then I told you I was running away and I left. I heard someone walking down the path, so I hid. Why? Noah, I was a 16-year-old girl walking alone at night in the mountains. I didn't want to get murdered. Right, my bad. Then, all of a sudden, it was like the world disappeared out from under my feet, and he disappeared too. I fell and fell and fell and ended up here, I guess. Getting tossed from dream to dream. How did you know that these are dreams? What else could they be? Fair point. So, what does all that murder stuff have to do with me anyway? Noah and Crow exchanged a glance, silently communicating with each other. After a few moments, Noah turned back to Rosalie. Well, past the fact I wanted to get you out of here, I think you could be in danger too. Me? Why? I don't know, but Luca was the last one who got killed, so... Buck, 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 buck. Rosalie nodded, seemingly understanding. What do I do then? Given your special circumstances, this may or may not work, but you should take this charm. To be honest, a human stranded in the dream world should have, well, died by now. It's not a safe place, and the human body rejects it outright. But you're alive and well, so your soul must be still present within you. You should be able to go home safely with Noah. What about you? You needn't worry about me. Can't you come too? Unfortunately, I cannot. But that's fine. I'm fine here. The room was silent for several long seconds before she finally spoke up again. You two rescued me. I won't just leave you... Before Rosalie could finish her sentence, the room grew dark and began to shake as if an earthquake had hit. A massive crack ran down one of the walls, and the ceiling started to sag in on itself like a loaf of bread falling apart. The lights flickered and went out altogether. Crow! Rosalie! The lights flickered back on slowly, and on the other side of the room was a man that looked like he was made of smoke, of shadows, holding Rosalie by the wrist. Noah stood tall, his eyes locked on the shadow-veiled man before him. The air was thick with tension, crackling with energy. He knew this wasn't another person like those that had surrounded Crow before. No, this was the very same person he'd seen all that time ago, holding a gun to his father's head and shooting without mercy. You. So we finally meet again. Noah's jaw tightened as he glared at him. You two will stop meddling with things that don't concern you. It is a futile effort. Let her go. His voice was low and dangerous as he moved to stand slightly in front of Crow, protecting him. Just agree to what I ask of you, and I will. Noah shook his head firmly. I won't stop until you do. The air crackled between them further as the man finally let go of Rosalie, but the celebration was short-lived as his hand plunged into her chest. Only when the man withdrew his hand alongside something that glowed brightly did she slump to the floor. And from his other hand he produced a gun. Noah stared down the barrel, not backing away. Are you scared? Crow reached for Noah's hand to pull him back, but unbeknownst to Noah, Crow's hand passed right through his. Make one move, and I'll shoot. Scared? Of you? No. I have way more worries on my mind than you. Crow came out from behind Noah, stepping forward. His voice was tinged with worry as he tried to reason with the man. Stop what you're doing. Taking innocent lives is never the correct answer. I won't take advice from someone who isn't real in the first place. The shadow-veiled man took a step forward, his voice rising in malice and disdain. A fake like you doesn't deserve to exist. You stand there next to a human and you think yourself his equal? You think yourself human? You are anything but. Crow stood his ground, his eyes fixed on the man's looming figure. Despite the fear and doubt creeping into his thoughts, he refused to back down. Say what you want about me. It's nothing that I do not already know. You must stop what you're doing. Crow's words seemed to make something snap within the man. He took a wild step forward as his voice boomed through the room. All you're doing is holding back people that need to move on. You are a face that does not belong to you. What? Crow didn't respond to his cries. It seemed like he couldn't think of anything words to argue back. Go on, say something. He gripped his gun tighter. Crow's voice was quiet, but it did not waver. What you're doing is wrong. To run away from the past, to destroy it, that's no way to move forward. You cannot pretend that what you're doing is helping Noah either. What do you know about moving forward? It happened in a split second. His finger pulled the trigger and a bullet was set loose, aimed straight at Crow. Crow stood his ground, closing his eyes as the bullet came towards him. But the pain he was waiting for never came. Instead, the bullet passed through him as if he were nothing but air, and lodged itself in Noah's shoulder. Noah let out a cry of pain as he stumbled back, clutching at the wound. Crow's eyes snapped open, realizing what had just happened. Blood began to seep out between his fingers. Noah! Crow attempted to catch Noah before he hit the ground, but his hands just passed straight through the man. Crow's mouth opened, then closed as he couldn't think of what to say. Noah! Noah, no! The blood kept flowing from his shoulder. It seemed to blend in with the paint splattered across, with the paint splattered across the floor. Shit! Oh, it hurts. No, please don't die. I'm so sorry. It's not your fault. The man that seemed to be surrounded by shadows wherever he went had disappeared as if a breeze had blown him away. Rosamie still laid on the floor, unmoving, just a meter away. The only thing I could do, the only thing I'm useful for, it's gone. I can't even help you now. What's happening? Why? I don't know. You need to go back. You need to get some help right away, please. Please don't die, please. I won't leave. I don't want to leave you. Please, Noah. I will never ask anything of you again if you please just go back and don't die. Crow's voice wavered as he begged Noah to live. Tears ran down his cheeks and his hands balled into fists on the wooden floor. Noah tried to reach out, but even a simple movement like that sent a pain through his body. But even more than that, he was scared. Scared to reach out, not be able to touch him. If I go, Crow hiccuped as he desperately tried to rein in his crying. Will you still be here when I get back? I'll be fine, Noah. Please don't worry about me at a time like this. I'm worried because you keep saying you'll be fine. You're not fine, and that's okay. That's what you told me. I will always be here for you. Please, I will see to Rosamie, so please just go back. Darkness began to seep into the edges of Noah's vision. He looked up at Crow's pleading eyes, then finally conceded. He tried his best to smile for Crow, the way others had always smiled at him to say everything would be okay. Okay, I'll go. Crow cried even harder now, but Noah forced himself to look away from the tears running down the man's face before he too would cry. His arm felt as if it were on fire now, and he wondered how much blood he'd already lost, but he was too afraid to check under his clothes to confirm it. Instead, he looked towards Rosamie. She wasn't moving, but her chest rose and fell with breath. That was a good sign. You better still be here when I come back. I can't lose you too. As the world fell away from around him, Noah reached towards Crow, desperate to feel him one last time. He felt as though if he didn't do it now, he never would get another chance. And perhaps that was true, as his fingers simply passed through him as he fell into the darkness. Ooh, snap! Ugh! His shoulder smacked into the table as he fell back into place, blood already staining his clothes. The customers at the booth surrounding him jumped as they heard the commotion, then yelled as they saw the blood. A young waitress came rushing over, her eyes wide with shock. Oh my God, what happened? Are you okay? I'm calling an ambulance. No, don't call an ambulance. I'll go myself. You don't need to call anyone. Wait, let me go get my manager. She disappeared into the kitchen, and Noah took that as his chance to get out of here. He struggled to his feet, the pain clouding his mind. He'd been in pain time and time again throughout his life, though nothing compared to this. His shoulder felt burning hot, like someone had poured boiling oil onto it and then placed a lit match underneath. Oh no! Drink milk, supposedly. Milk and bread, I've heard. Or maybe ice cream. Ice cream seems like it would work. Despite it all, he pushed himself forward anyway and headed for the front door of the diner after dropping some money on the table to cover his drink and a tip. He opened it up as quickly as he could using a single arm, then made his way outside. Dude, this dude's just, like, bleeding heavily from his shoulder, and he's just gonna be like, oh yeah, I'll just leave. The sun was still high in the sky as he stumbled down the sidewalk, every step causing him more agony than the one before. The sounds around him all merged into one, a cacophony of car horns and passing vehicles, people talking loudly about their day, barking dogs. Shit, I can't go to the hospital. There's no time. I gotta get back to Crow. With his spare arm, Noah reached into his pocket and found his phone. As always, it was filled with texts and missed calls. He ignored those and went to his contacts, searching for a certain name before he paused. His finger hovered over Kane's name before his eyes found someone else's. Ivan's. When did that get in here? Whatever, I don't trust you, but you're not the one doing all this, are you? He carefully and slowly typed out a message. Hey, long story short, I got shot. Can you come to my place? Don't tell anyone. He didn't bother holding onto his phone to wait for an answer. Ivan didn't seem like the kind of guy who would even bother responding if he turned up to help. Then he turned up to help, otherwise he'd just ignore it. Though his apartment was only a short distance away, it felt like forever before he finally arrived home. His shoulder had grown so heavy by now that it felt as though it weighed almost as much as his entire body, and walking, he was more a stumble than anything else. Fuck, that hurts. He collapsed on his bed, exhausted. His arm throbbed uncontrollably, causing him to grip the sheets tightly around him as he finally pulled aside his clothing to look at the wound on his shoulder. The hole where the bullet entered was a mass of blood and flesh, and made him feel nauseous just looking at it. But for some reason, Noah felt himself mesmerized by it too. It was like the finest red paint on a blank canvas. It called to him, it demanded attention, inspiring his mind. This dude's fucked. Like, in the head. Still, the last thing he would be doing was painting. He could barely handle simply laying on his bed. His consciousness faded in and out of focus, sometimes feeling warm, other times cold, but never able to find any reprieve from either one. Part of him wondered if this is what death felt like. I'm not ready to die yet. I need to get back to Crow. I need to help Rosamie. Whether it had been 5 minutes or 2 hours, Noah wasn't exactly sure, but the door to his bedroom finally opened, and a certain white-haired man stepped in, his face as indifferent as always. So, you got shot. I didn't think you had it in you. Yeah, well, I didn't have much of a choice in the matter. Ivan didn't seem to want to bother with asking any questions about why or how. He simply crossed his arms over his chest and looked Noah up and down. The bullet still in there? Unless it miraculously disappeared. They don't usually do that. No shit. Well, good thing you didn't remove it, or I would have probably found your bled-out dead body when I got here. Right. What do we do? You got a first aid kit anywhere? Yeah, in the kitchen. Ivan disappeared again for a moment before reappearing. Noah used the chance to sit up a little, groaning as pain ran down his arm. Kneeling down beside Noah, Ivan peeled away the layers of clothing that sat in the way before eyeing up the bullet hole. Not bad. Quickly, Ivan pushed a small amount of gauze into the wound, which had mostly stopped bleeding. Noah winced, but that didn't stop Ivan's quick movements. After he covered the gauze-filled wound with another square piece of gauze and taped it down, he pushed down slightly, applying light pressure. Doesn't look that bad. This should stop the bleeding until you can, go to an actual hospital. I'm guessing there's a reason you messaged me instead. I'm in a rush. You're not going to be rushing anywhere like that. You won't be using that arm again properly for months. How do you know all this shit? Ivan shrugged. Common knowledge. It's definitely not common knowledge. Breaking and entering, jamming signals, fixing up bullet wounds. That isn't regular person shit. Worked out well for you, though, didn't it? Guess so. Every word was a strain to get out. He leant back into his pillows and his head against the wall. You know a lot of dreams and shit, right? I know enough. Is there a way to bring things from inside back out? By things, you mean people. Yeah. Rosamie should be able to leave, but what about the other guy? There was a complicated emotion behind his words, one that Noah wasn't used to hearing from Ivan, and he couldn't understand it, not while he was in so much pain. I have no clue. He doesn't have any real body to come back to, so who knows what would happen if he tried to leave. Right, of course. Shit, my brain feels so fuzzy. I just wanted to show him something. Why not show him in a dream instead? In a dream, I guess that's not a bad idea. I'm full of not bad ideas. Sounds about right. Anyway, I need a favor. Ivan raised an eyebrow. I've already done you a favor by coming here. Noah continued onwards, ignoring Ivan's words. I don't think I can stay awake any longer. Can you stay here until I wake up? I'm not your nurse. If Kane turns up here in a rush, then wake me up and tell me, okay? That seemed to pique Ivan's interest. He smiled lopsidedly. You don't want him to know about this, huh? No, I don't. He'll just worry more. It's complicated. Complicated is a funny way of saying interesting. Fine, I'll do it. If only because I like seeing his face when he walks in here and then sees me. You really are such an asshole. Ivan shrugged again, this time smiling ever so slightly as he did so. He reached out towards the door and without so much as another word, disappeared from view. Weird guy. I must be insane to trust him not to kill me while I sleep. Noah's eyelids became heavy. They desperately wanted to fall shut. The darkness around him felt safe, welcoming, though somewhat lonely. His head slowly leaned against the wall, taking all the weight off his wounded arm. It still ached terribly, but that was a minor concern compared to everything else on his mind at that moment. With some time alone with his thoughts, he decided something. It wasn't long ago he thought that feeling pain would be better than feeling nothing at all. Perhaps that was still true to an extent. Feeling nothing was such an empty, hollow feeling. But right now, Noah didn't want to feel empty or hollow or sad or pained. He just wanted the content feeling that came from someone important being by his side. His fingers reached up to his lips where the ghost of Crow sat. They hadn't kissed, no, but they were close enough. Was I really going to kiss him? With that thought in mind, he drifted off into a restless sleep. We woke up. That's where we left off. We were sleeping. Noah's eyes shot open to the sound of his alarm blaring through his room. He sat up slowly, stretching out his shoulders before hopping to his feet. After washing his face and brushing his teeth, he put his uniform on and slipped into his shoes. Also, he couldn't help but catch his reflection in the mirror, cheeks red as he thought about the night before. The way August had kissed him, with only the stars in the sky to witness it. Oh, okay, that's right. So, we're back when we were a teenager. And we had just kissed August. Or August kissed us. Either way. I think we kissed August. How am I meant to face him? He buried his face in his hands with a groan, knowing full well that he had little choice in the matter. Even if he skipped school today, that couldn't go on forever. Eventually, he would have to face the fact that he and August had indeed kissed, and both agreed to date. How do you even date? What am I meant to do? Every thought was making the heat in his face increase until his cheeks were burning hot. Fortunately, he had the solution. Noah pulled out his phone once again, answering a text from Kane. He'd sent another dumb meme that got a chuckle out of him before he switched over to his trusty internet search. What do you do while dating? However, the results only made everything worse. He slid his phone into his pocket with a sigh before leaving the room. You go to the movies, you go to the mall, you just hang out. Finally up, are you? Yeah, I'm leaving now. Wait a second. Noah's mom rushed out towards him from the kitchen so fast he couldn't help but flinch. I was having a chat with your father. Did you know the CEO of his company has a daughter about your age? No, I didn't know that. Does this have anything to do with me? Mind your tone, mister. We were thinking that it might be a good idea to introduce the two of you. I'm sure she's far out of your league. Wow, Mom. Fucking thanks. I'm sure she's far out of your league, but... Huh? I'm not interested. Dear, don't be like that. It'll be great for your father if you make a good first impression. It's not my job to get him a raise. He can work it out himself. Noah! Pfft. There you are, Asher. Tell your brother to be a little bit more respectful, please. Well, you could always introduce me instead. Oh, Asher, don't be silly. Noah took that as his cue to leave. Quickly, he turned around and opened the front door, ignoring his mother's protests from behind. Yeah, why not introduce her to Asher? What's wrong with Asher? Damn. Well, look who the cat dragged in. Wouldn't have been so held up if my mom wasn't trying to marry me off to some stranger. What? You heard me. I heard you, but what the hell do you mean? She wanted to introduce me to my dad's boss's daughter or something. Dude, you really are gonna get married off. I am not. You are. You'll be one of those loveless marriages that are just for status. Hey, if you get bored, I don't mind being your piece on the side. What? I'm not getting married, and I absolutely am not having you as a piece on the side. Kane laughed, jabbing Noah in the ribs with his elbow as he did so. Kane is so obvious about how much he likes Noah. I could wear a little maid dress. Would that help? You're gonna make me sick. Stop it. Boo. You're no fun. Do you know that? I only want to marry for love. I don't even care if my family cuts me off. I'm not gonna marry whoever they tell me to. Aw, you're such a romantic, aren't you? Shut up, dude. They continued farther down the mountain. August seemed to have already gone ahead this morning, which Noah was thankful for. I wish I could stand up to my parents like you do. They want me to go into finance or law or something. Yuck. Noah's eyes went down the familiar track, following the downwards curve. It seemed much more different during the day. We walked down here last night, and then we kissed. It's like they don't care that I want to be stuffed in some boring government job for the rest of my life. We actually kissed. God, we really actually kissed. There's so much more out there to do in the world. I don't want to be like them, rotting away in an office that looks exactly the same as every other one. And now he's my boyfriend? Dude, are you even listening? Huh? Losers say what? What? That is such an old joke. Loser says what? Sorry, I was just thinking about something. Well, what's on your mind? Oh, it's nothing. Don't worry about it. That makes me even more curious. Come on, tell. There's nothing to tell. You only make that stupid face when you're hiding something. You can't tell anyone, okay? No one at school, and definitely not my family. Why would I tell anyone anything? You can trust me, you know that. Want a pinky promise on it? God, maybe I shouldn't tell you. August and I kissed last night. Kane? This is a good thing, isn't it? That's what you wanted? Yeah. I'm happy for you, Noah. You don't think I'm weird? Oh, you're plenty weird, but that has nothing to do with this. Really, I'm happy for you. August is great. Yeah, he is. Though he smiled, the atmosphere between them was decidedly awkward. Kane looked away as he spoke. After some time had passed without another word said between them, they arrived at the bottom of the mountain, the place where the rocky ground turned into a normal street. A few cars sat on the roadside here, while others made their way up and down the street, though there wasn't much traffic in the early morning hours like this. It was a sleepy town that Noah had often wondered about. His parents could have lived anywhere, so why here? Still, if he only had one thing to be thankful to them for, it was that their decision to live here, that had led him to his best friend Kane, and now to August. Hey, Noah. Yeah? Does this have something to do with why your parents don't like August? Yeah, unfortunately. So, this has all been going on for a while? I guess it's been a while from the start. Well, thanks for telling me. You could have told me a long time ago, though. I didn't know how you'd react if you'd just hate me. How could I ever hate you? You know me better than that. Even if you hated me, even if you cursed me out and told you to leave you alone, I'd be there. Clingy much? Just a little. Thanks, Kane. Nothing to thank me for. Come on, we better go in. Man, poor Kane. Such second lead syndrome, it's sad. I love Kane. The two approached the school gates where a certain orange-haired boy stood. He waved to Noah when their eyes met, with almost made him flinch away. Shit, I forgot all about him after what happened with August. Oh, yeah, that other little jerk. Dread settled in the pit of his stomach as he desperately tried to think of any way to avoid Luca, but there was no way. Noah and Kane went to walk past him when he jumped out in front of the pair. Noah! Oh, and your friend too. What was your name again? Kale? Kane. Kane, that's right. Did your friend have a good birthday? Noah's eyes shifted to the ground. Yeah. Yay! I can't wait to hear about it. Hey, we should hang out after school sometime. We gotta go or we'll be late. You should head in too. Don't let me keep you. Bye-bye, Noah. He waved over dramatically as Kane took hold of Noah's arm and led him inside the classroom. Because, yeah, Luca was blackmailing us. He found my notebook and basically was like, oh, well, you have to be friends with me unless you want me to tell everybody that you and August are gay. What was up with that? With what? That kid. You totally froze up. Did something happen? I don't want to worry him. It's my problem to deal with. It's nothing major, just some art stuff. You'd tell me if it was, wouldn't you? Of course I would. Alright. Kane is... I'm absolutely on Kane's side. I love this man. Already sitting promptly at his desk was August, leaning back in his chair. He was facing out the window, watching the trees on the mountains sway back and forth in the wind. When he turned to face Noah, it almost seemed to be in slow motion. He smiled brightly, lighting up the entire room with such a small action. Noah raised his hand mechanically in a way that only vaguely resembled a wave as they passed one another by. Like a robot, but with beet-red cheeks, he walked over to his desk and sat down. It only took 30 seconds for a piece of paper to hit him on the back of the head. He looked down to the floor where the note had landed and quickly retrieved it. Oh, you couldn't be more obvious, idiot. Noah turned around and glared at Kane, who just grinned widely back. God, telling him was a serious mistake, wasn't it? The bell rang shortly after. Though the lesson was of little interest to Noah, how could he be interested in something like English when August, the August that had kissed him just last night, was sitting so close? He fidgeted with his pencil against the paper, scribbling random dark lines against the otherwise clean page. Miss Rose's voice seemed to fade away in the distance as he continued her monotonous reading from the textbook. I can still see those lips, kissing mine. Ugh, it's all I can think about. Go away, stupid thoughts. Go away. Noah watched August out of the corner of his eye, both desperate to make eye contact with him and desperate not to. His heart pounded in his chest and his stomach tightened uncomfortably. He tried to distract himself by drawing random doodles on the side of the sheet, but found it didn't help in the slightest. It felt as though that lesson went on forever, and when the bell finally rang, Noah jumped to his feet and left the room with a speed even Kane didn't realize he had. Now don't avoid him, Noah, idiot. He's gonna think you regret what happened. Oh, I'm such a coward. What am I meant to say to him now? I just gotta hide from him for a little while. I'll face him soon. Definitely soon. Oh no! Please tell me that this isn't when August dies and, like, he never gets... Oh, I'm worried. Of course, he wasn't exactly sure where he could hide from August, but his feet seemed to carry him in a certain direction that gave him an idea. The roof. Some people talk about sneaking up there sometimes, don't they? I don't think August would think to look for me there. Sorry, August. What? Noah finally looked up in the ground. Noah finally looked up in the ground? From. I think that's supposed to be from. Noah finally looked up from the ground just in time to bump into someone. She tumbled backwards slightly, only just catching herself before she fell over. She looked at Noah with a frown on her face. Her hair was long and dyed pink, and Noah was surprised that the school would even allow that. She was quite small and petite, and definitely eye-catching, but the frown on her face seemed out of place. Watch it! Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to... She continued walking past him, ignoring his words totally and completely. The only thing she left behind was the slight floral scent of her perfume. Whatever. I can hear it raining outside my house. A lot. The blue sky spread out far above Noah as he opened the door that led to the roof. It was a beautiful sight. Clear skies as far as the eye could see, and the mountains that surrounded the town in every direction were no different. The green trees that littered the mountainside swayed back and forth gently in the breeze. Noah could imagine their leaves rustling loudly with each movement. No one else had ventured onto the rooftop so far, which made sense seeing as Noah had sped up here. With a sigh, he collapsed against the wall, sliding down to the ground and completely ignoring the seats that were around. Why'd they put seats up here anyway if we're not supposed to come up here? With nothing else to do and far too much time and space to think, Noah opened up his notebook and pulled a pencil out of his pocket. Oh, what can I draw? Something to keep my mind off everything. Absent-mindedly, he started with what he could see. The sprawling mountains, which dominated the horizon like a giant beast. He drew a few more lines and then stopped for a moment. Hold on, I'm trying to open my blinds just a little bit just so I can see outside, just in case it gets bad weather. I'll have to give this to Luca. I can't have anything happen to August. I won't let anything happen to him. Oh, I wish I never went to that stupid art club. He froze as the sound of the door squeaking on its rusty hinges came from behind him. There you are. Oh, August. I almost thought it was going to be a teacher. Is this better or worse? Why'd you run off so quickly? August took a few steps towards Noah before sitting down beside him. Where their shoulders touched, Noah could feel an immense heat. I didn't run off. You definitely did. I just wanted some fresh air. You were totally avoiding me. No, You were too. He laughed, a lighthearted and happy laugh that just made Noah feel guilty for avoiding someone so... perfect. Do you not want to spend time with me that badly? August pouted through the expression, though the expression seemed more to tease than anything else. Not that Noah could have noticed. He instantly floundered to explain himself. It's not that. I really want to spend time with you. I just... Noah's eyes found the ground. I'm nervous. August leant his head on Noah's shoulder, causing his entire body to stiffen up in panic. About what? Okay, I won't tease you anymore, I promise. He laughed again, like a perfect spring breeze. Noah couldn't help but smile as well, despite the heat in his cheeks. To be honest, I was so nervous about today I didn't even sleep last night. So I understand. What? You always look so calm and collected. I wouldn't have ever guessed. I wish I was always calm and collected. With a gentle smile, August rested his head against the wall and looked up at the sky. A few clouds lazily crawled across the giant blue expanse as the sun beat down on the pair. Clouds look so comfortable, don't you think? I've never really thought about it. Noah's eyes followed August's as he let out the breath he didn't even realize he was holding. I know they're not, but they seem so fluffy. Like I could take a nap on them and just drift away for the afternoon. August's head found Noah's shoulder again. This time, he didn't pretend to pout or try to tease the black-haired boy. He just rested. This is pretty comfortable too, though. Wait, maybe this is even better. He's on my shoulder. He's so close. God, he's so close. His shoulder felt much heavier than it actually was, and his heart beat loudly in his chest, so loudly that he prayed that August wouldn't hear it. Thank you for my birthday gift yesterday. I love it. Dad loves it too. It's It's no problem. And thank you for kissing me, too. Hey! Sorry, I did say I would stop teasing you, didn't I? If it's from you, it's okay. Noah muttered below his breath, but a laugh still escaped August's lips. What were you doing up here anyway? Scribbling, mostly. Can I see? Noah held out his sketchbook to August, who took it in hand readily. His eyes widened in amazement as he looked between Noah's drawing and the world beyond it. This is beautiful, Noah. This isn't a scribble. You think? It's nothing special. Everything you do is special. You really have worked so hard to get this good, haven't you? I guess so. I want to try drawing too, but maybe that's a little lame of me. First I pick up photography because of my dad, then drawing because of you. It's like I can't find my own hobbies. It's free real estate. I think it's cool that you try out all kinds of things. All I do is stuff like this. If I was that good at something, I think it would be all I did, too. Can I ask you something? Nervousness crept over Noah. Of course. Do you want to go do something together tomorrow after school? Tomorrow? Yeah, I want to... I'd be cool with that. Maybe we could see a movie or something. It's the opening night of this new film I wanted to see. I'm just asking, is this a date? If it's okay with you. It is. Yeah, cool. At some point or another, their hands had found each other, their fingers interlocked, and they held tight as they leaned against the wall. They stared at each other in silence. Neither one spoke, neither moved. They only watched as time slowly pressed by them, a moment in time frozen in its entirety as if trying to preserve every detail. It honestly felt as if time had stopped, and Noah almost wished it had. He wished he could just stay in this moment with himself, August, and the wide blue sky forever. Aha! I knew that was coming. Slowly but surely, the two boys leaned in towards each other until their foreheads touched. As August gently closed his eyes, so did Noah. And then, before either boy realized what was happening, their lips met. Aw, so cute. They jumped apart at record speed as the sound of the bell rang clearly through the air. I guess we should go. We should. Neither could look at the other directly as the pair retreated back into the hallway below. This just gets more and more interesting, doesn't it? How about you shut up before I shut you up? Kane? As August and Noah emerged into the hallway that led to their classroom, they noticed that the hall was completely empty already, apart from two people who stood in the corner. Kane gripped Luca by the collar, practically choking him as he snarled angrily. When he heard Noah's concerned voice, his head whipped around with a look of surprise on it. Noah, August. Is everything okay? It's nothing, don't worry about it. Kane finally let go of Luca's collar, which caused an exaggerated sigh to escape his lips. You're such a meanie, Kane. I just wanted to chat for a while. I can't believe you'd be so cruel. What did I ever do to you, huh? He sniffled, wiping away tears from the corner of his eyes. Now. August stepped forwards, a conciliatory smile on his face. Yes, it is a BL novel. How could you guess? Was it the two boys kissing? Was that what gave it away? I'm sure this is just a misunderstanding. I would bet that Kane wasn't trying to hurt you or argue. He's incredibly kind. He sure wasn't acting very kind. He was being a total jerk. I was so scared. I didn't realize he was so nasty. Luca wiped a few tears from his eyes, then smiled. But you seem pretty nice, at least. Hey, are you August? Oh, yes, I am. And you are... I'm Luca. I'm Noah's friend. And I guess I'm Kane's enemy. It's nice to meet you. Hey, did you know... I've got to get us away from here. Before Luca could say anything further, the trio, Kane grabbed them both by the arm and started marching them towards the classroom. Aw, don't you want to stay and chat? Luca pouted. That's too bad. But I guess the bell did ring already. I wouldn't want you to be late for class, so I'll let it slide for now. Bye-bye, you three. Hey. Noah wrenched his arm free of Kane's grasp at long last, then looked at him questioningly. What was that all about? It's nothing. It doesn't matter. We can talk about it later. Let's just get to class first. It was a rare occurrence to see Kane even annoyed about something, but at that moment he looked furious. I'm gonna bet Luca knows that Kane has a crush on Noah, and he was threatening to out him. That's my guess. Kane seemed to keep the same look on his face the entire rest of the day, which only confused Noah further. What happened? What has Luca got up his sleeve now? Still, not even Luca could put a damper on Noah's spirit at that moment. The thought of a date with August left him giddy in the stomach. If Noah had to say if luck was real or not, he would say it definitely was, and that he was born with none of it. If there was a 50-50 chance of something, he'd always lose. If his life was a board game, then Noah would have been bankrupt before the first time he sat down at the table. But right now, he thought that was perfectly okay. He'd give up a lifetime of luck if it meant all went towards ending up with someone like August. The trio walked on in silence. Kane didn't seem as if he wanted to talk about what happened, and neither August nor Noah wanted to ask. See you guys later. Have a nice weekend, Kane. Yeah, you too. Kane was the first to leave. Noah and August stared after him for a moment, worry written plain on their faces. I'm worried about him. Me too. And I don't think it's right to just let him leave by himself after all of that. I'm gonna go catch up with him. Wait, I can... It's okay. I'll see you tomorrow, Noah. August rushed off after Kane before Noah could even move to follow him. What's going on with you, Kane? You're finally home, dear. I wanted to talk to you. God, this should be good. Since you're between tutors at the moment, and I know you have important tests coming up, Asher has offered to help you study. Can I say no? You can say thank you to your brother instead. He even invited his friend over for extra assistance. Assistance, sure. More like he's brought in backup to harass me even more. Fine. Be a little more appreciative, Noah. Yeah, right. Noah made his way to his bedroom, both surprised and alarmed to find the door already slightly ajar. Well, look who the cat dragged in. Asher sat down at Noah's table with a few textbooks laid out across the surface, as well as his own notebook. Looked like he was studying himself more than anything. Did you touch my stuff? Noah instantly frowned at him, but Asher simply scoffed in return. I touched your floor, your table. Got a problem with that? You know, that's not what I mean. Why would I touch your shit? Great question. I'd love to know too, seeing as you dumped my art books in the river just the other day. Asher smirked. That was an accident, remember? Whatever. Noah went to sit on the edge of his bed as he realized that someone was lying on it, a book on his face, snoring softly. This is the friend? Yeah, looks like he's doing a lot of studying. Reuben, wake up! The snoring continued. Reuben! And it continued some more. Reuben, I've accidentally broken the spine on the book you lent me. You what? He quickly sat up, the book that was resting on his face falling into his lap. I love his hair. That's so... I like the braiding and stuff in it. That's nice. That's my favorite book. Just kidding. You're such an asshole. With that sorted, he laid back down and picked up his book once again. That's my bed. It's comfortable. Thanks. You must be Noah. Aren't you guys supposed to be, helping with my studying? I'm sitting in here to make Mom happy, but I'm not helping you. I have my own work to do. And him? He's reading, obviously. You should help him, Asher. He doesn't need my help. He's one of those gifted kids that never needs to study. I study all the time. You could just work together. Or he could do my homework for me if that would make you happy. It wouldn't. Don't be lazy. Lazy. Right, coming from you. I'm not lazy. I'm just taking my time with life. Noah stood awkwardly like a stranger in his own room while the other two bickered back and forth like a married couple. He briefly wondered if he should just leave and go to Kane's house, but a loud knock at the door stopped him in his tracks. How's studying going? Fine, Mom. You don't need to check in on us. I'll make sure Noah actually studies for once. I study all the time. I don't need a tutor. Still being unthankful, I see. Well, I brought you some snacks to help. Reuben jumped up from the bed faster than Noah thought the man would be able to move. So far, he seemed more like a sloth than anything else. With a smile, he took the food from their mother's hands and brought it over to the table. Thanks, ma'am. This'll help a lot. Don't let them slow you down either, Reuben. You must have to do so much more extra study work. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna try that again. Don't let them slow you down either, Reuben. You must have to do so much extra study without any parents, dear. Wow! What the fuck, woman? And just be like, ha, your parents are dead. What the fuck? God, Noah's mom sucks. Mom. What? I'm just saying. We're busy, all right? Asher, why don't we go get some drinks to go with these snacks? Asher jumped to his feet and ushered his mother out of the room, shooting an apologetic glance back at Reuben. The silence that followed was far worse than dealing with Asher's annoying voice. Noah shuffled back and forth in place, uncomfortable with the thought of being alone with someone he didn't know, let alone that person being one of Asher's friends. Sorry about my mom. Reuben picked up his book again with a shrug. She's not wrong. How do I get out of this situation? There's nowhere to go. Not seeing a way to avoid the issue, Noah simply put down his backpack, pulled out his workbooks and his sketchbook, and sat down at his table. He took a peek at the textbooks Asher had left lying open. Mom did want him to be a doctor or something, didn't she? This looks hard. Don't you think it looks a little like a different language? Reuben's voice carried over from Noah's bed. He still didn't look away from his book, which he'd picked back up the moment Asher had left the room with his mom. Kinda. It seems hard. I don't see the point in reading a book if you're just gonna hate it the entire time. And Asher definitely hates those books. Did he tell you that? I can just tell. How could you tell anything that's happening past your book? Noah flipped through his sketchbook, trying to distract himself with his drawings as much as possible. His sketch from earlier that day of the mountains around school was the last thing he'd drawn, and the first thing in the last couple of days. He'd definitely been distracted. If I clean this up, maybe I could try painting. Then I can give this to Luca. I don't want to give him anything, but I can't let him hurt August. Did you draw that? Ha! Noah jumped in place, spooked like a startled deer at the sudden sound of Reuben's voice behind him. He's finally left the bed and instead sat at Noah's side, gazing down at his sketch. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. But did you? Oh no, he's found that notebook! Yeah. Can I take a look? Noah's hand was hesitant as he handed the book over to Reuben for multiple reasons. Being a friend of Asher's, there was no telling what exactly he would do with it. Plus, the last time he gave it to somebody, he made the mistake of giving Luca enough to blackmail him with. Reuben flipped through the pages, his brow almost furrowed in concentration. He took his time, pausing on some images and lingering longer on others. Eventually, he handed it back. You're really good. Thanks. Asher did tell me you were good at art, but I didn't realize you were that good. He said that about me? Yeah, he talks about you sometimes. Noah winced. That was never a good thing. Not bad things. About your art or about your studies. lots of things. Huh. That's unlike him. What do you mean? Asher doesn't have anything nice to say about me. Asher doesn't have anything nice to say about me. And if he does, then he's lying. Chucked all my older art books into the river for fun. He berates me, he harasses me, he ruins my stuff. He always talks down to me and about my studies, about my art, so I don't believe for a second he would say anything nice about me to you. Noah stopped in a huff, instantly regretting everything he just said. I mean, is that true? He did all that? Yeah, he hates me. So he lied to me then. Reuben's face was completely neutral and calm as he replied to Noah. For some reason, despite the way Asher treated him, he suddenly felt slightly guilty. I don't know. All I know is that he doesn't like me. Sorry about what happened to your art books. That's not cool. Yeah, thanks. Uh-oh, I think we just ruined Reuben and Asher's friendship. The door to the room opened again, and Asher came back in with 2 drinks in his hands. He put them down on the table, pushing one glass slightly closer to Reuben. You didn't get one for Noah? I'm not his personal servant. He can get his own drink. Sorry, I gotta go. Huh? I thought you were staying over here. I'll text you. Reuben collected his book and slung a backpack over his shoulder before quickly retreating out of the room. Uh-oh, Asher gonna be pissed. Wait, Reuben, what did you do? Asher's eyes narrowed and his forehead furrowed as he glared at Noah. Why is it my fault? I didn't do anything. Ugh, whatever. Asher scooped up all of his books and raced out of the door, chasing after Reuben. Wait, does Asher like Reuben? Does he have a crush on Reuben? What's their problem? Hey, that's what's happening outside my house right now. So much so that when I looked outside, my road is flooded a little bit. Outside, the sun had just set. Its fading rays that had shone through the windows were now completely gone. Noah's eyes traveled to the window across from his where the blinds were drawn. It had started raining at some point. The drops of water pattered against his window steadily. It wasn't that late yet. Noah felt like he wanted to sleep right away, even if that meant missing dinner. He just wanted tomorrow to come already. He'd never been on a date before. He hadn't even had much of a crush on anyone else before August. No one else had ever caught his attention or made him interested enough to pursue them. No one except for August. He sat on his bed, squeezing a pillow to his chest in a tight hug as he thought about everything that had happened lately. August and I are dating now. Everything with Luca and those dreams. Enjoy your lurking! With everything else that had happened in the last few days, he hadn't had time to actually sit down and think about what happened. I went into someone's dream. A dream? How? Why? Have I got superpowers or something? Straining his ears, Noah heard a quiet tapping at his window. He jumped to his feet and rushed towards it, opening it quietly but quickly. August? But instead of seeing August as he'd hoped and expected, someone else sat by the outside of his window. Kane? What are you doing out there? It's a long story. I was just wondering, can I come in? Of course you can. Thanks. Noah stepped to the side, letting Kane climb in his window. He climbed the tree that grew by the side of the house with so much ease, Noah couldn't help but feel slightly jealous. He trailed water in, and he looked to be completely drenched. Has he been out in the rain all night? I hope I haven't gotten the carpet too wet. It's fine. Do you think I care about the carpet right now? Maybe you won't, but your mom will. I can invent some sort of excuse. I'm gonna guess you don't want her to know you came here since you didn't use the front door. You'd guess right. I'm not really in the mood to talk to anybody right now. Apart from me, you're special. Right. Noah felt a strange jump in his stomach at those words. A jump that confused him. There was no reason to feel happy about that, yet he still did for some reason. Seriously, though, what happened? You look terrible. Well, thanks. Softly, Kane laughed. I knew I could always rely on you to perk me up. Any time. Can I stay here tonight, please? Kane's voice sounded strained and desperate. All right, of course you can stay here. Thanks. I'm guessing you don't want me to go out and get the spare mattress from my mom? No, don't tell anyone I'm here, please. What's going on? He was strange at school, and he's even stranger now. All right, sure. Noah closed the window, locking it up tightly. I'll sleep on the floor. It's no problem. What? Don't be stupid. You can use my bed. Is that really all right? Why wouldn't it be? Well, it's just, you are dating somebody now. And? That doesn't change anything between us. You're still my best friend. I'm sure August would understand. You don't think he's the jealous type? If he was, I wouldn't like him so much. Yeah, that's true. Then, if you don't mind... Without another word, Kane crawled into Noah's bed, leaving the black-haired boy standing in his room, confused. Unsure of what else to do in this situation, Noah turned the light off and crawled into bed beside him, facing the ceiling. Neither of them spoke up for some time. Kane laid there quietly, hugging his knees with his arms around his legs. Noah had no idea if he'd fallen asleep already. He'd nearly fallen asleep himself when a quiet voice came from the darkness beside him. Hey, Noah, would you be my friend even if I was a bad person? Wait, Kane doesn't kill August out of jealousy, does he? Oh no. I'm like trying to connect dots that I don't even, like the dots are barely even there. What? Noah couldn't see Kane's expression. He faced away, but his voice sounded strained, like he was barely holding on. You're not a bad person, Kane. But even if you were, I'd still be your friend, no matter what. I want to ask him about Luca, but pressing it would be just be admitting that Luca has something on me. Do you ever feel like you're completely alone in the world? Noah took a deep breath, feeling the weight of Kane's words. Sometimes, I guess. But we have each other, don't we? Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. I don't know what I would do without you, Noah. Well, I'm not going anywhere. And hopefully you're not either? Silence hung heavy in the air, broken only by the sound of their breathing and the occasional rustle of sheets. The tapping of rain on the window filled the room, the sound somehow comforting in its familiarity. Noah turned his head to look at Kane, who was already looking back at him. His eyes held both sadness and an emotion Noah couldn't quite place. Kane, is something going on? Noah waited for a response, but none came. Kane's breathing remained steady and even as his eyes moved away. You don't have to tell me now, of course. I don't want to be pushy, but I am here for you, you know? Thanks, Noah. Noah nodded, feeling a sense of relief that Kane wasn't shutting him out completely. I swear there used to be nothing we didn't tell each other, and now look at us. We both have secrets and we both know it. Rain continued to tap against the window pane, the sound now accompanied by the distant rumble of thunder. The room was dark, save for the occasional flash of lightning illuminating the space. Noah couldn't quite put his finger on what had changed, but he felt a distance growing between them. It was as though Kane had built a wall around himself, and Noah didn't know how to tear it down. He wanted to help his friend, but he didn't know how to reach him. But what can I say? There's so much I haven't told you either. Maybe I'm the one in the walls. My parents are getting divorced. What? I'm sorry, Kane. I didn't realize... Neither did I. Not until today. It happened so suddenly. Just the other day, everything wasn't fine. My dad's been absent for ages, but my mom and I, we were getting along all right. We were okay, but my dad cheated on her, tossed her aside like she was nothing. Oh, shit, that's fucked up. My mom was beside herself when she found out, but Dad, he didn't even try to make up excuses. He was so cold about it. It was kind of, I don't know, unnerving. It was like he didn't care. My mom, meanwhile... Kane took a deep breath, and Noah didn't have to ask how his mom took the news. I think Mom will probably wind up keeping the house. Dad didn't sound interested in trying to fight a legal battle. He's wealthy enough, he probably doesn't need to worry about it. I wouldn't be surprised if he moved away. Right, I see. And what about you? Naturally, I'm gonna stay here. I don't want to leave you. It's just... this whole thing's made me wonder. Is love really worth it? Does love even exist at all? Or are people just going through the motions pretending love means something when it doesn't? I know my mom loved me, and she adored my dad. I don't think he adored her, though. Maybe he did once when they were younger, but that would have been a while ago. He already moved on, but my mom, she never did. At the end of the day, is that what love really is? Is it waiting for the person you care about most in the world to leave you behind? Noah felt a lump form in his throat. He was never good with these kind of conversations or situations. He didn't know what to say to make everything better. Even though he knew full well that nothing he could say would make everything better. I think love can be messy, but if you find the right person, then it can be real. You can't give up something just because it might end one day. Kane looked at Noah, searching his face for something. Noah couldn't tell if it was acceptance or skepticism, but he hoped he was getting through to his friend. But what if it's already ended, and you're holding on to something that isn't there anymore? Then maybe it's time to let go and move on. I'm really sorry about your mom and dad, but maybe they'll be happier this way? Yeah, I know you're right. I'm sorry, I'm just scared, I guess. I'm scared of being alone. It's just, this happened, and then lots of other things happened too, and it feels like I'm being buried alive all on my own. I get that, but you're not on your own. I'll always be here. Kane's voice was quiet when he finally responded. I hope so. The rain continued to tap against the window pane, the room filled with a heavy silence. Noah wasn't sure what else to say, but soon enough Kane rolled over, unwilling to speak any further, and Noah decided to do the same. As his consciousness drifted away, the distant rumble of thunder echoed through the room, a somber reminder of the weight of Kane's words and the uncertainty of the future. Damn, that's heavy. The gentle light shining in from his window is what finally awoke Noah from his slumber. He rolled over and checked his phone. 8 a.m. God, I really was tired. Morning, Kane. Silence followed. Kane? Noah rolled over the other way, finding the spot in bed beside him empty. Huh. Guess he left. I did sleep in. Still, usually he'd just wake me up. Like, better get up before I'm late for school. Noah stretched as he hopped out of bed, feeling a twinge of guilt about missing seeing Kane off. Their conversation from the night prior played through his mind. It's fine, I'll check up on him once I get to school. He quickly threw on his uniform and rushed out of the room. If he was quick, he wouldn't be late. There you are, Noah. Sorry, I gotta go. Remember that thing we talked about yesterday? I'm gonna be late. Noah slung his backpack over his shoulder, hand on the doorknob. After school. Bye. He's rushing to school. Noah arrived at school just as the bell rang. His eyes went around the classroom. Every seat was filled, minus his own, and Kane's. He beelined over to August's desk quickly before Miss Rose appeared. Have you seen Kane? August shook his head. He hasn't turned up. Do you think something's wrong? I don't know. He was at my house last night, but he left before I woke up. August's face was clouded with worry. Should we postpone the thing we were going to do later? We could go over and check on him instead. He might just need some time. Maybe he's dealing with things with his parents. No, I think he just needs some space. I think he's having some family troubles. All right. I'll send him a text anyway. Oh, by the way, I'm going to the optometrist during lunch, so I can't walk home with you today. But we'll still meet up near home later. Noah nodded. Though he was excited for his date, he couldn't help but feel anxiety welling up inside of him. About what exactly, he wasn't sure. Something just didn't feel right. August? Yeah? Exams are coming up soon. Do you want to study together? August's face lit up in a smile. Yeah. I am so nervous for when August dies. Every single time anything happens, I'm like, okay, this is where August dies. Oh my god, this is how August dies. Like right now, I'm like, oh my god, he's going to get in a car accident on the way to the optometrist or back from it, and that's how he dies. The day passed in a blur. Noah stared out of the window, watching the sun rise to the sky and pass overhead without truly being present. His mind kept wandering, lost in thought. August left during lunch, and soon enough the final bell rang, and it was time for him to walk home alone. Something about the lack of both Kane and August made him feel hollow inside. He'd always been a solitary person. He hasn't had a single friend before Kane, and that didn't bother him. But now the silence felt especially empty. Gathered up his books and slid them into his backpack before lifting it over his shoulder and leaving the room. Uh-oh. At some point, a storm had rolled in, and rain turned the usually dry track up the mountain into a slippery mess. Noah took each step with caution, mindful of his footing as he ascended the steep path to his home. The wind howled and the thunder roared, creating a deafening chorus that echoed through the trees. It was so sunny earlier. Noah shuddered, both from the cold and from the unease that settled deep within him. It was something that had stuck with him since the previous day when he saw Kane and Luca together. But he pressed on, determined to make it home before he got well and truly drenched. As he climbed higher, the storm seemed to intensify. The wind picked up, sending raindrops whipping against his face and clothes. Lightning flashed, illuminating the path ahead of him in brief bursts of light. Finally, he reached his front door, breathing heavily and soaked to the bone. He fumbled with his keys, his fingers numb from the cold, before finally unlocking the door and stepping inside. The warmth of the house enveloped him, and he let out a sigh of relief. But that warmth didn't last long. There you are, Noah. You're dripping water everywhere. Go get a towel and come back down here quickly, please. Noah's eyes went to his mother, who was sitting with one leg crossed over the other, his father sitting beside her. And filling up the rest of the lounge were 4 other people, 2 of whom he'd never met, an adult man with close-cropped hair and a neat suit, and a woman in a black dress that came down to her knees. But what made his stomach drop were the 2 people he did recognize. Luca turned around and waved soundlessly, his mouth curved into a smile that reminded Noah of a snake. Sitting near to him was a girl with long pink hair. Noah recognized her from school. Noah, don't stand there gawking, dear. I'll go talk to him for a moment. She excused herself from the group and quickly grabbed Noah by the arm and pulled him into his bedroom. What's going on? Who are they? That, Noah, is your father's boss and his family. Quickly dry yourself off and let's go back downstairs. Noah pulled his phone out of his pocket and checked the time. It wasn't long until he was meant to meet up with August. No, I'm going out with Kane. I can't. This is important. You are not going anywhere. Yes, I am. I've already organized to meet up with him. His mother pulled his phone out of his hand, slipping it into her pocket. Hey, not everything is always about you. For once, please just put in some effort for your family. Give that back. No, you can have it back if you behave downstairs until they leave. At least let me send a text first. No. And if you think to leave before we're done, then forget ever seeing Kane in the future. Do you understand? She turned around and left the room, leaving Noah fuming in his anger as he dried out his clothes. It's fine. It's okay. I'm sure they'll leave soon, then I can go. Somewhat damp, but much less sopping wet, Noah stepped back out of his bedroom, closing the door behind him and entering the living room. And I must say, what a lovely house you 2 have. I'm very impressed. Ah, this must be Noah. The death glare from his parents forced a smile onto his face. Hi, it's nice to meet you. Yay, Noah! I'm so happy to see you. Oh, you 2 know each other. We're actually really good friends, right, Noah? Yeah, the best of friends. I hope our Noah hasn't caused you any trouble, then. Hey. Actually, he's been so helpful. I've improved so much because of him. Wow, he's just so good at everything. If he mentions that stupid art club, I'm gonna kill him. There was a twinkle in Luca's eyes that said he knew full well that Noah wouldn't want his family to know. Noah clamped his mouth shut. Looks like they didn't force Asher to be here. Why me? Ah, that's great. Seems your son has just as much dedication and drive as you. The two men laughed, their wives giggling off to the side. This feels so fake. It's all fake. Dad wants a promotion. His boss knows that. It's what this is all about. It's all just theater. Ah, theater? Remember when we saw Luca die in the dream? It was theater? But I don't believe Noah and Rosalie have been introduced, have they? His mother looked towards him. No, I don't think so. Apart from bumping into her at school. With a smile that didn't look anything like the glare he'd seen on her face the last time they'd met, Rosalie glanced towards him. It's nice to meet you, Noah. I've seen you around school before, but we're in different classes. Her voice was silky and smooth, and her clothes were crease-free. Her makeup was done to perfection, and every lack of hair sat where it should be. In short, calling her perfect probably wouldn't be an understatement. Surprised they'd let her dye it. I've heard about your good grades, Noah. I'm very impressed. What do you intend to do after you finish high school? He didn't need to look towards his parents to feel their piercing stares. I just want my phone back. I plan to go to university and study business or law. God, I can't think of anything worse. Very nice. I'm sure you do well with either. You just need to give up that art and you'll be quite the catch, huh? Lucas smirked at him, whereas Rosalie seemed to drop her facade for a moment, and she rolled her eyes. The rest of the adults all laughed as if he'd told the funniest joke. I'm just a joke to all of you. A ringing sound came from behind the kitchen, and Noah's mother jumped to her feet. The turkey's finished. Shall we prepare for dinner? Noah, why don't you give Rosalie a tour of the house while I set the table? That would be lovely, thank you. She smiled perfectly at Noah. Everything about her seemed like that. Exact and perfect. Why me? Sure. Noah looked outside the window. The sun was already moving quickly through the storm-ridden sky, and the time to meet August was approaching. Damn it, I wish I could tell him. I don't want him waiting out in the storm. Just a little more, then I can go. Luca pouted as the pair left without him. Noah wasn't sure about this Rosalie, but leaving behind Luca was a good thing, at least. With a smile, she followed behind him as she showed her the various rooms of the house. She made small talk every now and then, but didn't say anything outside of compliments while they were in earshot of their parents. I guess I could show you my room. Leave the door open, Noah! This is my room, I guess. I don't really know why you would want to see it, though. Because I don't want to see it? She rolled her eyes. What happened to the nice girl act? Don't flatter yourself. I'm here because my dad wants me to be. That's it. I'm not interested in marrying you or whatever. Good, because I don't want to marry you either. Noah sat down on his desk chair, spinning around once for good measure, while Rosalie sat on the edge of his bed with a sigh, her head in her hands. How about we make a deal? A deal? Your mom is forcing you to be here, right? Is that obvious? Extremely. Play along and pretend we're dating. What? No, why would I? To get your parents off your back. I plan to leave this stupid backwater town at the end of the year, but I can't exactly do that if my parents cut me off now. So why don't we help each other? You're already dating someone, right? Yeah. You can use me as a cover to see them. Huh. I guess it's not a bad idea. I'd have to tell August about it, of course. What about you? You're already dating someone? No, there's someone I like, though. Why go to so much trouble? Why not tell them you want to marry him instead? Because it's not a him, idiot. Oh! Noah blinked a few times in surprise. Now you have dirt on me. Can I trust you? Yeah, fine, you got a deal. Rain and wind battered against the window as the sun began its descent from the sky. Yeah, and she just admitted that she has a crush on another girl. So we're going to use each other. She's going to use, because their parents want them to be together. She has a crush on a girl. He has a crush on a boy. So she's like, why don't we team up and we'll say we're going on dates with each other when we're actually spending time with the people we actually like. I know, the scandal. Then cover for me right now. I need to get out of here and I need my phone from my mom. Fine, but you owe me a favor, all right? This won't be easy. Deal. Stay in here. I have an idea. There you are. Did you enjoy the tour? Where's Noah? It was lovely, ma'am. Noah really is such a good host. He actually went to lay down. He said he wasn't feeling well. Oh? Well, I hope he treated you well. Actually, if it's okay with you, I really wanted to give Noah my number, but he said he didn't have his phone. That's my Rosamie, always a forward thinker. Of course. Could I trouble you to take this to Noah then? Rosamie smiled, her face angelic. I'll go give it to him and make sure he feels okay. Should I take some food to him? Rosamie, dear, you really will make such a perfect wife. Here, you can take this in too. With a plate of food and Noah's phone in hand, Rosamie turned away from the group with a smirk on her face. But before she could leave the room, Luca had stood in her way, blocking her. You're lying. Move out of the way, loser. I'll tell Mom. I don't know what you're talking about. If you don't want me to tell, then tell Noah that he owes me some art by tomorrow. Rosamie scoffed, then sidestepped around Luca with annoyance. Damn, Luca's a prick! Rosamie dangled the phone in front of Noah before dropping it into his hands. He looked at it in amazement for a moment. You can start thanking me now. I think I'm more afraid of you than anything else. Good. I gave you a cover for the night, too. You probably don't want to leave by the front door, though. Oh, and I put my number in there in case you need me to cover for you. Just don't forget your part of the deal. I won't. Good. Noah instantly found August's contact and typed up a message, apologizing and explaining what happened. He quickly added that they could go out tomorrow instead, seeing as the weather was so bad. Oh, Luca wanted me to tell you something. The fact that Noah froze up didn't escape Rosamie. So, he's got something on you, huh? Yeah, unfortunately. She told me about herself. I guess I can trust her. I have a boyfriend. Her eyes instantly narrowed. He's a little snake. Sorry about him. He said to bring art tomorrow, whatever that means. Yeah, fine. Every moment he didn't receive a text in reply, Noah felt more and more anxious. Not able to sit still a moment longer, Noah opened the window, wind and water whipping him in the face. You might want to take an umbrella. I don't even know if that would help. Still, Noah picked up his backpack as well as an umbrella as he took a step out of the window. Good luck out there. Yay! We love Rosamie! Rosamie's actually stuck in the dream world, if I remember correctly. I think that happened right beforehand. We managed to make it out, but she didn't. And we were trying to figure out how to get her unstuck. The storm had only gotten worse since he had left school, and the wind howled like a chorus of banshees. He could barely see through the rain, and he felt the chill of the dampness seeping into his clothes once again. The umbrella lasted only a couple of minutes before the wind broke it, rendering it useless. Noah sighed and tossed it aside, knowing there was no use trying to fix it now. I'll come back for it later. He trudged down the steep mountain path, his shoes slipping on the wet rocks beneath his feet. He was cautious, but he couldn't stop thinking about how dangerous what he was doing was. There wasn't much choice, though. August still hadn't replied, and it was at least an hour after when they were meant to meet. If he was out in the storm waiting... Noah pushed forward, the water running down around his feet, making the already slippery path even more treacherous. He stumbled a few times, nearly falling, but managed to keep his balance. The roar of the storm drowned out all other sound, making it impossible to hear anything beyond the howling wind. Where are you, August? As he continued down the path, he couldn't help but feel a sense of unease. He was alone in the storm, with nothing but the sound of the wind and rain to keep him company. The darkness of the storm made it hard to see anything beyond the immediate surroundings, and the cold dampness made him shiver. His heart sank as he reached the bottom of the mountain path. I must have missed him. Or maybe he went home and went to sleep? I should have checked his house first. The sound of the overflowing river could be heard even through the storm as Noah turned back around, peering into the darkness. He couldn't help but shiver as the cool chilled him down to the bone. Let me guess, August fell and he drowned. And it's all our fault. He shouted August's name, but the sound was lost in the chaos of the storm. Noah checked his phone again, but there was still nothing. Noah retraced his steps up the mountain path, his heart pounding with worry. He kept his eyes peeled, scanning the surroundings for any sign of August. The rain had slowed down a bit, but the wind was still just as fierce, whipping his hair around his face. The darkness pressed in around him, threatening to swallow him up entirely. He had always thought of this mountain like home. It was inviting, it was warm, it was filled with life and light. But right now, it seemed more like a tomb filled with endless tunnels that you would be lost in forever. Before long, he'd struggled all the way back up the path. There was no sign of August, no matter where he looked. He stared back down the mountain. Should I check again? No, I'm sure he's just back at home already. I'm just being stupid. Even telling himself that, though, he felt an uneasiness deep in his body as he slowly found his way back home. Checking that no one was peeking out at him, he climbed back in his window, wet and cold from the freezing rain. Why would you not knock on his door and talk to his dad and be like, hey, is Noah home? Noah stared at the room across from his. The curtains were shut tight and the lights were off. Guess he's asleep. I'll really have to apologize tomorrow. No, Noah! Why? Why are you so... Blah! He crawled into bed, shivering, and drifted off to sleep after sending one final apology to August. His dreams were quiet for a time, until they weren't. He saw hands reaching for him, a storm, someone calling out his name, someone left alone, in pain, and then he woke up. Fuck! Noah's eyes opened with a start, and he quickly sat up as his heart beat hard and fast in his chest. For some reason, he felt completely sick to his stomach, anxious as if he had to stand in front of a class and give a presentation. He looked at the clock. It was still only 6:30 a.m. Desperate to escape the strange feeling and unable to sleep anymore, he hopped out of bed, got dressed, and made his way to the living room. His mother was busy in the kitchen, and his father was sitting down and drinking a coffee before work. Even Asher was sitting on the couch, mindlessly scrolling down some social media site on his phone. Everything was quiet. Much too quiet. Morning. Noah's father pulled up the newspaper he was reading even further, ignoring him. Asher, on the other hand, looked away awkwardly, cleared his throat, then left the room. Morning, dear. Breakfast? Yeah, thanks. Noah finally remembered the previous night, pulled out his phone. There wasn't a single response from August, but he did have nearly 10 missed calls from Kane. Maybe he hasn't woken up yet. Before long, Noah was faced with a full plate of breakfast. He ate it slowly. He'd usually skip breakfast, but he felt especially hungry today. The feeling of dread in his stomach was like a weight pulling him down, and he couldn't shake it off. He kept glancing at his phone, hoping for a message from August, but there was still nothing. You shouldn't play with your phone while you eat, Noah. It's rude. Sorry, my bad. I'm waiting for a text from a friend. He hasn't responded to me, and I'm getting worried. Noah's mother made a face before turning around to finish cooking. What? How's school? You have finals coming up soon, don't you? It's fine. About my friend. How about Kane? Is he well? He's all right. Mom, do you... Is that the time already? Dearie me, I better go. Mom. Is there something you know? Dear, just concentrate on school for now. I'll tell you once your finals are over. Tell me what? What do you know about August? We told you not to spend time with him anymore, Noah. You can only blame yourself for this. His mother sighed before sitting down at the kitchen table, staring into her cup of tea. August's father came over yesterday to find you late last night. We told him to leave, seeing as you were unwell. You should have woken me up. What did he want? August was in an accident yesterday, and he probably won't make it. It felt as if the ground had opened up beneath Noah. Color faded from the world as he dropped his fork to his plate and looked toward his mother with wide eyes. What? No, you're lying. You're lying just to stop me from seeing him. I'm not lying, Noah. You have to be. I need to go see him. You have to take me to see him right now. Noah scooped up his phone and quickly dialed Kane's number. Didn't even ring through. It went straight to voicemail. Not today. Your father has work and I'm going out with my friends. What the fuck are you saying? August August is lying in some hospital and you only care about yourselves. Watch your language when you speak to your mother. No, I won't. You two only care about yourselves and your stupid image. I hate you both. I hate you both so much. One day when the two of you die, I hope you're completely alone. Don't expect me to be there. Noah rushed out the front door, slamming it violently as tears streamed down his cheeks. The sky was clear. The storm was gone. Go away. I don't want to deal with you right now. Where are you going? The hospital. I don't care if you tell Mom. I'm going anyway. Asher held up his finger. On it spun a key on a silver keychain. A key to their father's new car. How about a lift? You're just trying to trick me. Asher looked away. For once, he had a serious expression on his face. I don't give a shit about you. Doesn't mean I'd trick you when your friend is lying in a hospital bed. He shrugged. You'd do the same for me. I hope. Dad'll be furious. I'm going back to campus soon anyway. Two brothers slipped into the car, and Noah wiped at the tears on his face, but it did little to help. The drive was silent. Asher had nothing to say to Noah, and Noah felt the same about Asher, but he still felt an appreciation in his heart that he'd never give voice to. Soon enough, the looming hospital sat in the distance, and Asher pulled up a street away. For what it's worth, I hope he's all right. Thanks. Hope Dad doesn't kill you. He grinned lopsidedly, then pulled back onto the road, heading back the way he came. Noah ran now. He ran as if his life depended on it. He ran as if this was his final chance. He ran as if he could save August. The hospital corridors were busy, people rushing around in scrubs and white coats. Noah felt like he was in a dream, everything blurry and unfocused except for the desperation in his heart. People sat around coughing and spluttering in the waiting room, while two receptionists sat behind the front desk. Noah rushed up to them, out of breath, and they looked at him in worry. I'm here to see August. August? The other receptionist pulled the young lady aside and said something quietly to her before she turned back around to speak to Noah. I'm sorry, are you family? No, we can't let anyone but family in at the moment. But he's... Noah. Noah's head whipped around to see Jasper, August's dad. He'd never heard a voice so tinged with pain, or seen a face so puffy and streaked with tears. He didn't say a word. Perhaps he didn't need to. Jasper simply reached for Noah and embraced him in a tight hug. When Noah could finally speak, his voice was weak. It sounded like someone else entirely. Tell me it's not true. Tell me it's all a lie. August's father didn't have an answer. His head fell to Noah's shoulder as quiet sobs escaped his throat. August, he loved you so much. He did. If it wasn't for the big arms around him, Noah would have fallen to his knees. Noah wasn't a religious person, but he found himself praying that he'd wound up in another dream, and that when he woke up, this nightmare would be gone. August would be there, smiling like sunshine. But this was reality, and Noah was beginning to learn that reality was cruel and unforgiving. Noah couldn't bring himself to ask any more questions, to hear any more details. He just stood there, frozen in time, unable to comprehend what had happened. After what felt like an eternity, Jasper slowly released his hold on Noah and looked at him with red, puffy eyes. You can see him if you want to, but I think it would be better if you keep the image you have of him in your heart. Noah. Kane looked down to the ground. He looked just as tired as August's father. It looked like neither one slept last night. I tried to call you, but my phone went flat. No one could get in contact with you. Your mom wouldn't let me in, wouldn't let anyone in to see you last night or this morning. Sir, could we speak to you for a moment? Of course, yes. Noah was left face to face with Kane. Neither boy knew what to say to the other to make everything okay once again. What happened? Kane frowned, face scrunched up in pain. The storm last night. August was out in it for some reason. It was slippery and dark. The river was overflowing. It's all my fault. Noah dropped to the ground. Tick, tick, tick. A clock ticked somewhere in the background. Time went forward whether Noah wanted it to or not. Time in which he existed, but August didn't. Time in which he let August die in a hospital bed while he lay sleeping at home peacefully. Cain dropped down to one knee, but whatever he was trying to say to Noah was lost to the abyss. Guilt weighed on him, as if tied to his ankles. He was drowning in an ocean of regret and sin with no way out. He didn't deserve a way out. Not after what he'd done. It should have been me. Noah, listen to me. I should have died, not him. Not someone like him. Aw, poor Noah. The room was silent. Noah was becoming used to the silence. Every morning his mother would bang on his door, then there would be silence. At night she would beg him to eat, and then there was silence. Noah stared at the wall. It was no different to any other time, yet he studied it intently. He felt nothing, and yet he felt everything. He was numb and hollow, yet filled with a pain that was worse than he'd ever felt before. He was suffocating, and yet here he was, living, breathing. He saw Augustus smile. He heard Augustus laugh. He felt Augustus' presence, and yet wherever he turned to see the boy, he wasn't there. Noah's phone sat on his bedside table, drained of power. He didn't care about charging it. The only person he wanted to speak to was gone, and he was tired of Cain's texting. A knock sounded at his door, and his mother appeared. Please, Noah, you need to eat something. It's been days. Isn't this enough? Noah didn't respond. He simply stared blankly at the wall, lost in his thoughts. I brought you some food. Get out. Noah, I said get out. I don't want your food. I don't want to see your face. I want to be left alone. Just hurry up and die. I want you all to die. I wish I could just die. Then go ahead and do it. You stay cooped up in this... Jesus fucking Christ, lady. Yeah, that's what you say to somebody who's depressed. Yeah, just go ahead and die. Oh, I hate this bitch. I hate his mom. I'm glad his mom's dead. You stay cooped up in this house all day and all night. What do you think the neighbors think? We told you not to be friends with that boy, yet you defied us anyway. Look at what's happened because of it. Whoops. There we go. Get out. A friend's come to see you. I don't care. I don't want to see them. Noah's mother sighed heavily in a way that said, You're overreacting. He simply ignored her and went back to staring at the wall. A few minutes later, and she was gone, and a young woman with dyed pink hair stood in her place. Sorry for coming over without saying anything. I heard what happened. I'd say I was sorry, but you've probably heard that plenty already. Rosamie sat on the end of Noah's bed. She had a big bag slung over her shoulder, and it looked heavy. I just wanted to say bye in person. Not like we've known each other for long or anything. I just thought you and I were pretty similar people. You're probably the only person that I can relate to in this god-awful town. You're going somewhere? Noah's voice was barely a croak. Probably. Can I be honest with you? Even though you won't like what I have to say? Noah nodded. Honesty didn't sound so bad. You should get out of this town while you still can. Luca's been spreading stuff about you at school, the little bastard that he is. Everyone's talking about you and about August. And not to be rude, but your parents suck balls. Goddamn right, Rosamie. I love this. I love Rosamie. Favorite. Just hearing his name sent a pang of pain through his body. Where else could I go? Rosamie shrugged. I don't know. Anywhere would be better than here, though. The moon had already appeared outside of Noah's window, giving Rosamie a gentle glow. She looked somewhat like a princess that could dispense a brand new dream for Noah. Rosamie gazed at the moonlight, then checked her watch before standing. If my parents ask, I went home from here, all right? Yeah, I'll cover for you. Thanks, Noah. For what it's worth, I enjoyed our brief friendship, even if we'll probably never see each other again. Good luck out there. And the next moment, she was gone. People disappear so easily, don't they? One moment they're beside you, and the next moment they've vanished as if made of mist. A person is so fragile. I wanted to give everything to you, and now it feels like everything was just an illusion, a fleeting moment lost in time. The room was silent, yet it still seemed to echo with the absence of August's presence. He'd been in that room painting and laughing such a short time ago, and now he was gone. Felt almost as if when he'd gone, he'd taken part of Noah with him. A knock at the window made Noah jump. He looked towards the sound, a feeling of disbelief deep in his stomach. Jumping to his feet, he rushed forward and opened the window. August! But of course, August was not there. Noah, sorry to intrude like this. Aw, Jasper! August's father, Jasper, climbed into the room. His eyes were sunken with big dark bags. Noah had always thought of the man as very put together, but right now he was anything but. August used to sneak out to see you like this, didn't he? You knew? Of course. Sorry. There's nothing to be sorry for. It's a part of being a teenager, and you made him happy, so I was happy too. I wanted to come say goodbye. Goodbye? After the funeral, I'm moving away. This is a beautiful town, but the colors have dulled since he's been gone. I don't think I can stay here any longer. Oh, I wanted to give you these. In his hands was a small pink pot. A little sprout hardily stood out from the soil. Under it was a small cardboard box. August loved this so much more than you'll ever know, and he'd want you to keep looking after it. I can't take it. If I take it, then it's just accepting he's really gone. I can't. Please, Noah. Hesitantly, he reached out and took hold of the pot. It felt cold in his hands, lifeless. I didn't trust your parents to actually give it to you, so I wanted to give it to you personally. Look after it, okay? I will. Then he handed him the small box. Some photos August kept. Of all kinds of things. Jasper then reached into his pocket and pulled out a folded-up piece of paper before placing it carefully on Noah's desk. That's my number. If you ever need anything at all, give me a call, all right? You are a fantastic person, Noah, and you will go on to do amazing things. Your worth isn't determined by the way your family thinks of you. Remember that, all right? If you ever need someone to believe in you, it'll be me. He's so nice. Noah wasn't sure when, but silent tears had begun to run down both of their cheeks. Wordlessly, the two hugged, and Noah felt like he had now totally lost the last part of August. Jasper pulled back, smiled sadly, then headed back towards the window. Does he know? Does he know August was out that night because of me? The guilt made him feel physically sick. His stomach did somersaults as he tried to stammer out an explanation to August's father. Sir, Jasper, It's my He simply shook his head and left. And once again, Noah was alone. Completely and utterly alone. And it was suffocating. He felt like the walls were closing in on him. Not just the walls, but everything. School, his parents, expectations, even Kane. Everything was closing in on him, and there's no way out. All he wanted was to be in a place where no one knew him. To spend his time on his art and be alone. If a canvas would be his only friend, that would be fine. His eyes went across the room. His perfect room. There wouldn't be much to take. Very little in this room mattered to him. His art, August's plant, August's painting. Everything else could stay in this hell and rot along with everyone else in this town. He sprung to action. Noah tipped his school backpack upside down on his bed, emptying of it everything he wouldn't need anymore. In their place, he put his sketchbooks, as well as the painting August had made in that very room, carefully folded up. A pencil case filled with pens, pencils, and brushes, as well as some paint, was dropped in next. He grabbed the paper that had Jasper's number too, just in case. He opened his door, slightly peering out. The house was dark. His parents were probably already asleep. Backpack slung over his shoulder and the pot plant carefully in his hands, he entered the living room. Some food, just in case. He opened the cupboard and grabbed a few cans and packs of things that wouldn't spoil and filled up a water bottle. Lastly, money. He rushed to the front door. His father usually left his wallet in his coat pocket, which he hung up every night when he returned from work. He dug around in the many pockets before pulling out a nondescript black leather wallet. Yes! Credit cards, debit cards, these'll do. He grabbed a few cards as well as the $500 that he had in cash. God damn! Who keeps $500 cash in their wallet? Holy shit! Dad's loaded! I'll go get money out in town, then not use the cards again. He won't be able to find me. Noah put the wallet back carefully. They would notice very quickly, he was sure, but any extra time would get him further away from this hell. He took one final look around his parents' house. It really was beautiful. Beautifully vain and beautifully empty. His last thought as he headed for the front door was that he wouldn't miss it. He ran. Despite the slipperiness of the mountain path, despite the terrain, he ran. For every step he took, he felt as though he could breathe just a little bit better. The mountain was near pitch black, being such a remote location. There wasn't a single light to show where to step next. Still, he ran. Didn't know exactly where he was going or what he'd do. He just knew that he couldn't stay here any longer. Just like Rosamie and Jasper, they both knew they couldn't stay in this town, and so did Noah. He just wanted to be alone and be able to breathe again. As Noah's foot caught on an exposed root, Noah wondered for a moment if this was how August felt too. As he flew through the air, holding August's plant close to his chest to shelter it, he wondered why he was so calm. If I die, then maybe we'll be able to see each other again. Then, you can hate me all you want. You can tell me you'll never forgive me for leaving you out here alone. And as long as I get to see you again, I don't care if you hate me. As long as I can see your smile that reminds me of sunshine once again. He braced himself for impact that never came as a familiar voice called out to him from the darkness. Is someone there? Noah? He fell. He fell for so long with his eyes scrunched shut, he wondered if he was already dead after all. He waited for the impact, for the feeling of broken bones, for his blood to spill out onto the earth, but instead, all he was met with was the feeling of wind whipping him in the face. He opened his eyes. Everything was dark save for a light in the distance that was quickly becoming closer as he fell further and further. Only when he'd finally stopped bracing for impact did he hit the ground. He rolled, more worried about the fragile plant in his arms than his body. Ow! Panicked, he jumped to his feet, but let out the breath he was holding when he saw it was undamaged. This is a dream, right? It looks so empty. Is anyone here? His voice echoed through the clean, empty space. The only thing that seemed to exist here was dead trees and a single swinging bench. He approached it with hesitation, testing it for a moment before sitting down. It was quiet. Unnaturally quiet. And for once that quietness made him feel happy. No one could tell him what to do. He could just stay here forever and drift away in the nothingness. Maybe that world is a dream, and this is the actual real world. August, are you here? Please, can you be here? I don't want to be alone. I could give up everything to see you again. I don't care if I ever see any of them again if it means I can have you back. Silence followed his words. I just don't want to be alone. He pulled his legs up under him, wrapping his arms around himself. That Noah. After all we did for him, look at the disappointment he's become. Huh? Noah looked up and around, but there was no one. It seemed like the voices were coming from everywhere, yet nowhere at all. Look at the way he runs away from his problems. What a coward. No. He's always been weak, can't even handle his own emotions. Look at him all hung up just because one person died. Who cares? No. He's always been a burden. Stop it, please. Please, just leave me alone. He's a failure. He'll never amount to anything. Noah clenched his hands over his ears, desperate to drown out the voices that were both familiar and unfamiliar. If not for him, August would still be alive. Oh, wait. Give me a hint. If not for him, August would still be alive. My son. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for ever existing. It should have been me. Now he runs away from everything, off to find happiness after he's left behind a trail of destruction and death. August, please help me. Hush, it's okay. I'm here. The voices all stopped at once, fading out into oblivion. The voice that replaced theirs was a gentle and soothing. Noah couldn't even bear to look up at his savior. He was too afraid of the person it wouldn't be. August? I'm whoever you need me to be. You don't need to listen to them. The past is painful, but you're worthy of happiness. It might not come today or tomorrow, but you'll find it one day. Don't blame yourself. August, His words stopped and started as he blubbered and sobbed. I just want him back. I just want to trade places with him. Please. Please. Live, Noah. Live and learn to exist once again. I can't. You can. Running away doesn't necessarily make you a coward, and staying doesn't necessarily make you brave. All you can do is the right thing for yourself at the present time. It's time for you to go, Noah. Be careful, okay? Don't trip, and watch where you're going this time, all right? Don't leave me. But it was too late. When Noah finally looked up, the mysterious figure was gone, and he was falling once again through the darkness. The stranger's voice was oddly familiar to him. It was warm, like a sunrise. He once again clutched the pot plant to his chest. It, too, suddenly felt much warmer. Warm like sunshine. Chapter 5! So that was all, like, what happened before. If I remember correctly, Noah got hurt, and then there's that weird kid Ivan that we still don't know anything about, really, but he can also go into dreams, and he, like, helped patch us up, I believe. I don't remember how hurt we were, though. I feel like we were pretty damn hurt. Noah woke to a commotion. It wasn't that long ago that he was accustomed to a solitary lifestyle of silence. Now it was more usual to be surrounded by noise. He wasn't sure whether that was a good thing or not. So now we're back in the present. His head pounded and his shoulder ached in a way that made him feel sick to his stomach. He sat up slightly, unable to tell if it was day or night. Something crashed to the ground beyond his bedroom door. It sounded like either someone was ransacking his house or two people were fighting. Noah could guess which one it was. It wasn't anything worth stealing in his apartment. He closed his eyes as they throbbed. His whole body hurt. Noah decided he probably didn't like pain as much as he thought. Why'd I dream about that? He hadn't thought of those days in years. About the hospital, Jasper and Rosemary leaving, about running through the night all alone, about hoping he would slip and fall, about the person who had saved him in that dream and sent him back safely. I forgot all about you. I never did get to thank you. He shifted his arm slightly, sending pain shooting down his spine. Ugh. After I left that dream, I ran into town, maxed out all my parents' cards, and dumped them. I wanted to take a night bus, but I missed the last one, so I walked. I walked for what felt like hours before a car came along and stopped. They offered me a ride and dropped me in the next town across the mountains. It's lucky they didn't kidnap me, or worse. Not that I cared. And when I was finally out of town, only then could I finally breathe again. I was getting used to being someone you loved, getting used to be someone that could be loved. Breathing wasn't enough. I wanted to live. I wanted you to live. Alright, we need to go see... I'm guaranteeing it's Ivan and Kane, because they fucking hate each other. Another crash and bang from outside the door. It sounded like his easel had fallen over. Even that wasn't enough to make Noah get out of his bed. I stayed in a seedy motel for a few hours, then kept going, hopping from city to city, getting as far away from reality as possible. I was terrified of my parents finding me. I remember always looking back over my shoulder, expecting to see them there, but they never were. Maybe they never even looked in the first place. The only person who looked for me was... The door crashed open and a person rushed into the room. Noah! Kane. Why did it have to be you? Why did you have to turn up? Oi, fucker! Told you not to come in here! Why the fuck should I listen to anything you have to say? This isn't your house, you leech! Stop fighting. My head hurts. God, Noah, what's happened to you? Kane knelt down beside Noah's bed, which was nothing but a mattress on the ground, and reached for his shoulder. Instinctively, Noah flinched away. Kane didn't fail to notice that. His hand dropped down to his side. I keep telling you this is all too dangerous, and you keep going back. Noah looked away from him. What are you doing here? I just wanted to say sorry for before. Noah looked towards Ivan, asking a question with his eyes, and Ivan simply shook his head, so he didn't tell him. What time is it? 3 a.m. You couldn't have waited until tomorrow? I just felt like you were in trouble. What happened? I got shot? Guess someone doesn't like me. Let me get the first aid and... It's already done. Kane looked between Noah and Ivan, hurt evident in his expression as it sunk in. You asked him for help? He's got a problem with that? No, I guess not. I thought we were closer than that, though. His words were barely a mumble, but Noah still felt them deep in his heart. I don't want to doubt you. I don't. But I feel like you're hiding something from me. You've been busy lately. I didn't want to bother you. You've never been a bother to me, Noah. That wouldn't start now. There's always been a spot for you in my life. Kane eyed up the bloody gauze on Noah's chest. Whatever he's done isn't enough. Come on, I need you to get you to the hospital. No, I don't want to go. You have a bullet in your shoulder, Noah. Don't be ridiculous. I'm not going. I have somewhere I need to be. Yeah, the hospital. Please, for once in your life, just listen to me. Noah shook his head. Not this time. People need my help. Every word struggled to escape his throat, which was completely parched. Let me get you some painkillers and water. Don't run off, okay? Okay. So I think last time Kane, yelled at us because he didn't want us to go in the dream world. We basically said, screw you, we're going to do it anyway. And then used... Oh, yeah, we got him fired. Oh, yeah, because he worked for the government and we stole, his key card, snuck in somewhere, and got him fired. I remember that. That's why he was really mad at us. Which, I mean, fair. Kane left the room first, leaving Ivan standing to the side with his arms crossed. So? So what? Ivan inched closer, a smile on the corner of his lips. What do you want me to do now that he's here? He's not gonna leave, and he's not gonna let me go anywhere. Can you distract him for me? I need to go somewhere without him worrying. You ask a lot of favors of me, don't you? And you find it entertaining, don't you? Got me there. You'll owe me. Are you sure you want that? Nope, but I can't think of any better plan. I just need enough time to get Rose and me out of there, and to make sure Crow is okay. When did you turn into such a decent person? I don't know, but it's no thanks to you. Here. The door opened again as Kane stepped inside. He passed Noah a bottle of water and a couple of painkillers. Noah eyed them up for a moment before taking them from Kane, brought the bottle to his lips, added the 2 little white pills, then swallowed. Hopefully that helps until we can get you looked at in the morning. You don't need to baby me, you know. If I don't, who will? I'm tired, Kane. Can we talk about this in the morning? Yeah, sorry. I should have just waited until morning, but... Noah hadn't ever seen Kane look such a mess. He was always the put-together one of the pair. Smart, good-looking, charismatic, well-spoken. Yet, right now, his hair was a mess, there were dark black bags under his eyes, and his words were jumbled and confused. I'm staying here, though. I won't let you be alone. How would he be alone with me here? Don't forget good-looking. Yeah, I agree. Look at him. Who wouldn't want this man? You're not staying. That's no way to treat your host. This isn't your apartment. He can stay, Kane. We're friends. And what are we? I'm tired, Kane. Right. Well, I'll be in the living room if you need anything. Anything at all. All you have to do is tell me, okay? Okay. Noah slowly relaxed himself into his bed again, watching carefully as Ivan and Kane shuffled out of the room. Once they were definitely gone and the coast was totally clear, Noah spat the 2 pills into his hand and dumped them in a bag of trash that was overflowing on his floor. Sorry, Kane. I want to trust you. Careful to avoid making much sound, Noah sat up from his bed again and got to his feet. A broken mirror leant against the far wall, and Noah realized he couldn't say anything about how Kane looked. He looked 10 times worse himself. Straining against his injury, he quickly got changed into a new, less bloody set of clothes, his arms screaming at him to stop every step of the way. This won't work for long. He'll work out I'm gone by morning at the latest. It's all the time I need to get Rose and me out of there and to help Crow. His determination steeled. Noah closed his eyes and braced himself for the fall. Even then, his stomach did flips as the ground opened up under him and he fell. Whee! Into the dream world. Where will he be? How can I find him? How can I find you and save you? As he fell, his shoulder burned and ached. He winced hard but accepted the pain with clenched teeth. Unexpectedly, he suddenly began to steer off course. Where he would usually fall down in a line until he emerged where he wanted to, it was as if an invisible string was pulling him from his destination into somewhere else entirely. Noah desperately tried to regain control, but there was no control to regain in the first place. He shot off to the right into the vast darkness until eventually a light could be seen in the distance. There you are, Noah. You're dripping water everywhere. Go get a towel and come back down in here quickly, please. Noah's eyes went to his mother, who was sitting with one leg crossed over the other, his father sitting beside her. And filling up the rest of the lounge were 4 other people, 2 of whom he'd never met, an adult man with close-cropped hair and a neat suit, and a woman in a black dress that came down to her knees. Deja vu! Noah winced as pain shot through his head. Ugh. Noah? Mom, where... Oh, dear. I think the cold must have made him a little confused. Let me speak to him for a moment. Noah's eyes went to the other 2 in the room. Luca, laughing at a joke someone else said, and a girl with long, pink hair. He almost felt like he recognized her, like he knew her name, but his mind came up blank. His mother excused herself from the group and quickly grabbed Noah by the arm and pulled him into his bedroom. Dear, what's going on? Are you feeling all right? She raised a hand to his forehead, feeling for a temperature. You do feel a little hot. His mind was coming up blank. Where was he just now? His memory of how he even got home was completely gone. One moment he was at school, and the next he was standing in his living room, sopping wet. Did you slip and hit your head? Should I take you to the doctor's? Say the word and I'll have the guests leave so you can rest. No, my head hurts a little. It's fine. Don't worry about it. She let her hand fall back onto his cheek, and a sweet, gentle smile crossed her lips. Are you sure? You don't have to come down if you don't want to. It's fine, but who are they? Your father's boss and his family. Are you sure you didn't slip over or something? Yeah, his mom is not this nice. This is absolutely a dream. You wanted to be introduced to their daughter, Rosamie? Rosamie? Noah instinctively pulled out his phone and checked the time. It was 5:30 p.m. His mother passed him a towel, which he quickly used to dry off his hair and clothes. I'll send a car to pick you up if it starts raining again next time, okay? I don't want you getting sick. Thanks, Mom. There's no need to thank your mother for the bare minimum, dear. His mother left the room first as he stared at himself in the mirror. He looked completely normal, was his own reflection staring back at him, but something looked wrong, missing. Noah's fingers went to his shoulder. I must be imagining things. I thought I hurt my shoulder. He turned to leave the room, and that's when something caught his eye. The corner of a piece of paper hung out from his cupboard. But instead of investigating any further, he found his way downstairs and joined the group. Then if it isn't my favorite son! Feeling better, Noah? Does it count if he's your only son? Oh shit, Asher's not here. Ha! I think it does. A hot shooting pain pierced through his head again. Come sit down. We were just talking about your art. My art? Noah sat between his parents. His mother wrapped an arm around his shoulder, and his father ruffled his hair lovingly. We hear you're quite the artist, Noah. I'm impressed. I didn't expect someone your age to be so devoted to the arts. Our Luca has been into art lately, too. Have you two met Luca? Noah's eyes went to Luca. It was like his face was hazy almost. Like there was something Noah was supposed to see there, but he couldn't. He shook his head, trying to clear the haze away. We actually met in school already. Noah's been tutoring me. His voice was gentle, and he looked at Noah with eyes full of adoration. Right. That's right. We met at the art club, and I started tutoring him. Why is it so foggy? Our Noah is such an inspiration, isn't he? He's going to be a famous artist one day. I'm sure of it. Mom, there's nothing to be embarrassed about, dear. The hours upon hours you put into developing your talents deserve to be celebrated. Noah's eyes traveled to the last person in the group, the girl with long pink hair that hadn't spoken a single word yet. Ah, Rosamie, why don't you introduce yourself to Noah? For some reason, Noah expected her to smile, to introduce herself happily, but she simply crossed her arms and looked away from the group. You'll have to excuse her. I believe our Rosamie is feeling a little unwell. A ringing sound came from beyond in the kitchen, and Noah's mother jumped to her feet. Oh, the turkey's finished. Shall we prepare for dinner? Can I have a tour of the house? Noah's mother looked towards him with a smile. Would you mind, dear? No, of course not. I can show you around. The sun was already moving quickly through the storm-ridden sky outside. The weather was only getting worse as Noah got to his feet to show Rosamie around. His gaze caught on his reflection in the glass as the rainwater whipped against it. Something about that sight filled his stomach with anxiety. I'll come help you in the kitchen. Rosamie didn't speak a word as Noah slowly showed her around the house. Finally, they were left with only his bedroom. Did you want to see my bedroom? Yes. She's very direct. Leave the door open, Noah. Mom! I'm kidding. This is my room, I guess. I don't really know why you wanted to see it, though. Because you don't, right? Noah grasped at his head again as it pounded. Oh. Is this what you want, Noah? What? To live a make-believe life in a fake world? To just delete everything that made you sad from existence? What are you talking about? I'm asking you if this is what you want. This life, this family? What? This is my life, my family. How could I want anything else? She looked at him with disappointment. What about the people you're forgetting? You're forgetting something. Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Then live the lie all you want. I won't stop you. The door slammed behind her as she left the room. Confused, Noah's eyes caught on the corner of paper hanging out from his closet once again. This time, instead of ignoring it, he pulled it free. On it was a painting filled with black and red. Are they meant to be flowers? When did this get here? I didn't paint these, did I? A shout from the living room pulled Noah's attention away from the painting. Noah, come get some food! He didn't recognize the painting in the slightest, yet his mind told him this was his most special treasure. Noah carefully put it back where he found it and sped out of the room. Night had already fallen and the storm wasn't letting up. The winds howled like a pack of banshees, and Noah felt chilled to his bones despite the fact he was inside, dry and warm. Boy, glad we're not out in this weather. You'd have to be crazy. It'd be easy to get stuck in the storm and slip around here. The mountain paths are beautiful, but deadly enough when it's not raining. Mountain path. The rain. Noah's mother had set the table beautifully. The dinner set was yellow, and she'd placed a vase of flowers in the center of the table to match. It had 3 beautiful sunflowers. Sunflowers. The rain. The mountain path. Noah, are you coming to join us? Oh, yeah, of course. The rest of the group was already seated. Rosamie pushed her plate away and turned up her nose. Rosamie! Wife, my bad. Rosamie, where have your manners gone tonight? My lovely daughter. I am not your daughter. I hope you all enjoy the food. It's one of Noah's favorites. With his exams coming up soon, I wanted to treat him to something delicious. Exams? Wasn't I supposed to study with someone? Noah sat down, confused. The food looked and smelt delicious, but something also seemed off. Like he wasn't supposed to be here eating this food with these people. Like he was supposed to be somewhere else. The fork felt cool against his lips as he brought the food to his mouth. He chewed slowly, watching everyone else carefully while he ate. Their conversation faded into the background, and all he could notice was the sound of forks scraping across plates. Noah watched their faces, looking for signs of something different from them. Something wasn't right. Everything was perfect, yet still something wasn't right. And it's like they know it. Noah noticed that everyone stopped talking when they heard it too. Thunder rumbling in the distance, or rather in the clouds above, and it sounded almost like it was echoing inside Noah's head, telling him, "You're forgetting something." Boy, the weather really is wild. Hasn't been a storm like this since back in August. 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 The kitchen window shook and shuddered until the lock keeping it closed flew open. Noah's father jumped to his feet in a panic, desperately trying to close it as a single blackbird landed on the windowsill. What are you doing out in this storm, little crow? Go on, shoo! He pulled the window closed. Crow. Crow. Crow! Noah stood from the table in a rush, looking at his family as if they were total strangers. This isn't real. What are you talking about, dear? Sit back down. Aren't you enjoying the meal? You aren't real. You weren't like this. Rosamie perked up, her eyebrows raised at Noah's sudden outburst. Noah, please. I wish you were. I wish you were real. I wish this really was how everything went. But it's not. She raised her hand to his cheek and he leaned into it. I wish you were my mother. But my mother is dead and wasn't ever as kind as you. I have to go. I have someone to save. Ignoring their shocked exclamations, Noah rushed towards the door and threw it open. Wind and rain battered him mercilessly as soon as it opened. It blew his hair and clothes around wildly as he pushed against the gale. How could I forget? This is all a dream. I came to save you, Crow. I'll save you. Noah's breath came out in ragged gasps as he rushed down the slippery mountain once again. He ran with little regard for himself. All that mattered was the person who was lost in this storm, all alone. He couldn't save August anymore, but there was someone he could save. Noah! Rosamie, is it really you? Stop! Wait up for a second! God, yes, it's me! A fake wouldn't be nearly as pretty, would they? Ha ha ha! Rosamie gasped for breath as she finally came to a stop at his side, holding onto his shoulder to support herself. The thunder and rain made it hard to hear her. It was deafeningly loud. Do you finally remember? Yes, this is just a dream. She looked down to the ground, where water was traveling down the path at an alarming speed. It's too late. No, it's not too late. Not yet. It is. This is my dream, and he's gone. No, it can't be too late. It can't. I can't let anyone else die. Then let me help you one last time. What? We made a deal, right? I'll cover for you. I can send you back to the start of the dream, and I can help you fix things. What do you mean, one last time? Crow told me that humans aren't designed to exist within dreams. Especially not for as long as I apparently have. No. The thing that Shadow Guy stole from me was what kept me grounded here. I don't have much time anyway. It's taking all of my energy to even exist here. I still don't understand how I became so linked with this place, but I know how to use my abilities, and I can use them one last time for you. After that, I guess I cease to exist. Kind of weird, in my opinion, but who cares? Rosamie, no, I'm gonna take you back. There's still time. I don't have anything to go back to. The world kept turning without me there. I'll help you. Rosamie shook her head. Sorry to make you lose someone else, Noah, but if the last of my energy can use to help you, then I'd do it in a heartbeat. You're the best fake boyfriend I've had, after all. I'm not deserving of your kindness, Rosamie. Too bad. You get it either way. It's probably my fault you're here in the first place. Oh well. Is there anything you want me to say to your family? Any message you want me to pass along? My family probably didn't even care when I went missing. But there is someone you could try to find for me. I'll do anything. There was a girl I knew a long time ago, I guess. Her name was Daisy. Tell her that I'm okay, would you? Daisy. Could it be the same Daisy? I will. Thanks, Noah. You weren't tempted to stay here at all? To relive the life you missed? I'm not interested in running away from reality and playing make-believe. No. Neither are you, right? Noah nodded. Good, then we're on the same page. Rosamie raised her hands. I guess this is why you keep calling me the Princess of Dreams, huh? Since seems I have some power here. A dazzling bright light escaped the edges of her fingers and surrounded Noah. Good luck, Noah. Good luck, and goodbye. Rosamie, I owe you one. Yeah, you do. Don't forget it. Everything went black, and Noah's words faded into oblivion. The ground around him swallowed him up, burying him deep in the darkness. Walls pressed in around him, and he felt as though this could be the end. But just as he thought he might suffocate then and there, light enveloped him, and he was back once again. But this is still just a dream. If we save August in the dream, it's not going to bring him back to life. There you are, Noah. You're dripping water everywhere. Go get a towel and come back down here quickly, please. Noah's eyes went to his mother, who was sitting with one leg crossed over the other, his father sitting beside her. And filling up the rest of the lounge were 3 other people. Mom, Dad's boss, his wife, and Luca. Where's Rosamie? Who do you mean, dear? Noah looked at the gap where Rosamie should have been, and then to her parents, who looked back at him in confusion. She's really gone. I gotta go. But you just got here. Noah, I think the cold is getting to you. Go dry off, okay? No, I have to go. I'm sorry. I wish I could stay, but I have someone to save. Noah turned in place and threw open the door. The wind whipped his hair and his clothes around wildly, just as before. For some reason, night had already settled over the mountain as Noah made his way outside. Mist dissipated around his feet as he ran through the rain down the mountain once again. That was the 3rd time he'd done this now, run down this mountain without a single care for his own well-being. But this time he wouldn't fail. He wouldn't let anyone else disappear. This time he would save someone. His footing was slipping on the wet rock beneath him as he ran. The path that was before a worn trail was now almost a river as rainwater rushed down it in an endless stream. Noah felt himself stumble, but caught himself on an overhanging branch and continued onwards, pressing himself to go faster. His breath came out raggedly and fast. His entire body trembled from the cold. But even so, he pushed forward until he finally saw the person he was looking for all this time. Crow! August spun around, eyes wide and eyebrows raised in surprise at the sudden appearance of Noah. As if, no matter how he thought of the outcome, there wasn't a universe out there where Noah should have appeared to save him. But in that moment of shock, August's foot slipped on the wet ground and he began to fall backwards. Noah reacted quickly, throwing himself forward and catching August in his arms as they both tumbled down the mountain. The rain pounded against them mercilessly, obscuring their vision and making it difficult to see where they were going. But Noah held onto August tightly, shielding him with his body as they fell. They rolled down the mountain together, crashing through the branches and rocks until they finally landed in a heap at the bottom. The rain and storm dissipated in a moment, and the sky became as clear as if it never existed in the first place. For a few moments they lay there, dazed and gasping for breath, before Noah slowly pulled himself up and looked down into his arms. And there laid Crow, his eyes shut tight, but his chest rising and falling. He was alive. He was alive and breathing, and right there. At the exact same moment, a pain shot through Noah from his shoulder to the rest of his body. He looked down and saw familiar clothes, and under them, the bullet wound he'd acquired just yesterday. I'm back again. I'm me. Crow, are you okay? His voice was croaky. Crow's eyelids fluttered open just in time for Noah to see tears escape from them. What are you doing here, Noah? Isn't that a little bit of a stupid question? You brought me here, didn't you? Crow looked small in Noah's arms, small and impossibly fragile. I'm here for you. You shouldn't be. I set that all up for you, so you can actually be happy. I won't ever leave someone alone again, like I did with August. I won't leave you. Noah, I'm dying, I suppose. Dying doesn't sound like the right word for someone that wasn't living in the first place. Crow raised his hand in front of Noah's face. It fluctuated between solid and transparent, just like back when the bullet went through him and hit Noah. Go back. I can still fix the dream for you. You can still live the life you always deserved. Both you and Rosamie. Rosamie is gone. She sacrificed herself to fix things so I could come save you. Those words seemed to cut Crow deeply. It's my fault. It's not your fault. She made the decision. I have to respect that. I have to appreciate it, else it'll all be worth nothing. Crow, I don't want to run away from reality. Not anymore. All you can do is the right thing for yourself at the present time, right? And my present time isn't here in a place with everything that ever went wrong fixed. That's what you told me a long time ago, wasn't it? Running away doesn't necessarily make you a coward, and staying doesn't necessarily make you brave. You remember that? Why did you help me back then? Because I was created to help you, Noah. I exist because of you. And now I fade away back into nothingness because you've finally healed. You don't need me anymore. That's not true. Crow sat up quickly, backing away from Noah, almost as if he wanted to curl up into a ball and simply disappear. Noah reached for him, but his hand once again passed straight through the man. It's no use. I can never be real. I can never be more than a copy. You're not a copy, Crow. You are yourself. You're Crow. I'm nothing. Or perhaps I was nothing before, but now I'm becoming less than nothing. Don't let that person's words get to you. It was all a lie. You are real, and you've never held me back. If anything, you're the one that saved me. Crow's voice cracked as he voiced his response. He wasn't wrong. I'm not real, Noah. I exist because of you. I'm not trying to be dramatic. You created me. What? What are you talking about? I've never done anything like that. Maybe it was subconsciously. Don't you remember all the time we met? The time we met all those years ago? You came into this dream and you begged August. You begged for him to exist. And you created me in his image, a version of him that survived. I never intended to interact with you. I just wanted to quietly help you. But here I am, and it's all my fault. He looked towards Noah's sore shoulder. You were hurt because of me. If anything's proof that my existence was a mistake, there it is. You must think me so pitiful, newly with the emotions of a human, yet lacking everything that would make me one. I prayed every day to a God that I don't even understand, that I could be August for you, that I could be the person you needed. Aw, why would we shy? Would that be so mean? Noah reached out towards Crow. This time, he didn't let the fact that he once again couldn't touch him stop him. You suffered all this time, and it's my fault. My actions made you hurt. I could never be him for you. I have memories of him, you know. Of August? Crow nodded solemnly. You passed every memory you have of him over to me. His smile like sunshine, his voice, his laughter, his happiness and his pain. You showed me all of it, and he will always be the perfection I can never reach. Even if I tried, I couldn't replicate him. I really am a poor copy, aren't I? Poor copy that will only lead you and hold you in the past. Noah didn't know what to say. What could he say to make everything better? Was there anything? You don't need to become him. You never needed to. August is gone. I've accepted that. And the Noah that helped me, and the one that helped me to understand that the memories I have of my past can be enough, that it's okay to move on while remembering, was you, Crow. Noah's eyes were cast upwards to the heavens. 1,000 stars glittered back at the pair, seeming so far away yet still within arm's reach. This is it. This is what I wanted to show you. You told me you'd never seen anything like this, right? Crow looked up for the first time, his cheeks dusted with pink and his eyes watery. As he took in the sights, his mouth fell open slightly. I wanted to show it properly. Oh, it's sirens. The night sky in a place far away from any kind of city. Isn't it beautiful? It's magnificent. I always found that looking up at the night sky made me feel so small. But in a good way. Like all of my problems couldn't be that bad after all. Crow, I want to show you everything properly. Everything you've ever wished to see. The beach, the ocean, the most beautiful sunrise, and the most magnificent sunset. The biggest, most sprawling cities and the mountaintops. I want to give it to you. It happened in an instant. Gently, as if afraid his lips wouldn't meet with something solid, Noah leant forward and placed a careful kiss against Crow's lips. Crow froze in place for a moment before finally he relaxed into the feeling. Noah's fingers twitched, wanting to hold on to Crow for dear life, to never let him go again. His heart pounded out of his chest, threatening to burst free at any moment. How long had it been since someone had captured his heart so? How long had it been since he'd kissed another person like this? And what would Crow think? For a moment, Noah worried that he was the only one that felt like this, worried he was alone in his feelings. But that feeling was quickly squashed as Crow pressed into Noah, deepening their kiss. Their kiss was like nothing Noah had ever experienced in his entire existence. It tasted like sunlight, like the air itself. It felt like home. The world around them seemed to vanish for a time. All that mattered was the two of them and nothing else. For this moment, at least, that was true. The taste of his mouth sent shivers through every inch of Noah's body, and with them came warmth. They both exhaled in parted lips and shared breath between each other's mouths. They sighed, content with just being close enough to touch, yet still not quite touching. I can feel you just fine. Noah. He took a deep breath and stared into the blonde's eyes. I don't want anyone else. I want you. The person you've become. But I am nothing. You're something. You're Crow. That's all I want, and all I could ask you to be. I would never ask you to be August. I'm asking you to be yourself. I don't deserve that, Noah. But even if I did, and I agreed with you... He raised his hand again. It was fading, becoming transparent. Noah could see the mountainside through it. Crow smiled sadly. You're ready to be without me. You can still be happy. I'm not ready to lose you. I can't. Not yet. Noah wasn't sure exactly when the tears started streaming down his face, but he wiped them away with the end of his sleeve. I don't think there's anything I can do about it. Crow's face seemed to be a reflection of Noah's at that moment. They stared at each other before Crow finally looked down to the ground, his eyes welling up. I don't want to go away. I don't want to die. I'm so scared. I didn't know I could feel scared until I met you, Noah. Perhaps even this feeling is a dear thing. Noah's voice caught in his throat. Finally, Crow admitted his true feelings, yet Noah could do nothing about them. I want to stay with you, be the reason you smile. I want to make you happy, and I want to go back with you and see the world with you, but I can't. There must be something I can do. There is. Then stay with me until I disappear? That's my selfish wish. Stay beside me and watch the stars. I can't say no to that, can I? Makes me want to cry, to scream, but I have to do at least this. Crow laid back on the grass, staring upwards. Noah slowly echoed his movements, the vast sky quickly taking up his vision. I can feel your heart beside me, or your heat beside me. It calms me greatly. Human emotions are puzzling, aren't they? Even for me, yeah. How's your shoulder? It hurts, but it's fine. Ivan helped me deal with it. He's a good friend. Friend is a little much. It's good to have friends, Noah. I'm sorry, for what it's worth. Sorry for doing this to you all over again. It's not your fault. If I'd kept my distance, it never would have happened. You never would have had to gone through loss all over again. Being human is having loss, I think. You've grown so much, Noah. Thanks to you. Crow shook his head. I might have given you a nudge, but you did this yourself. I'm so happy to see your heart so full. Noah stared at Crow's profile. The moon shone down from on high, and the stars above glittered like diamond dust on the dark night sky. It was perfect in every way. The clouds were thin and wispy, their shadows didn't touch the ground beneath them. The moonlight reflecting off of them only made everything more radiant. The smell of flowers tickled their nostrils as they bloomed near each other. On any other night, with this person beside him, it would have been like heaven. "Can I draw you?" "Draw me?" "Yeah, in case we'd really never do see each other again." Crow smiled lopsidedly. I'm not sure I'll make the best model right now." He carefully wiped the tears out of the corner of his eyes, which were red and slightly swollen. "You're perfect." "Then I would be honored if you think I'm worthy." Noah took out his sketchbook quickly, and pencil was soon enough against paper. He could sense Crow watching as he drew. The silence around them made everything seem even more beautiful. It seemed that time stopped when they weren't speaking. A gentle peace filled every inch of their bodies, holding back all things painful or bad for just one moment longer. Every line was sharp and precise, but still warm. Every curve soft yet strong. Noah's drawing captured the details of Crow's features perfectly. The lines on his brow, cheekbones, nose, chin, and in his eyes, a reflection of the vast and infinite sky above. Crow watched silently as Noah completed his work of art before leaning over him to examine it. His fingers traced over every single detail. He looked up at the stars above once again and sighed deeply. "You're an amazing artist, Noah. The person on that paper, does it look like Crow or August to you?" Noah stared at his drawing and thought for a moment. "I see you, Crow. In all of your thoughts and emotions and struggles. In your dreams, your fears, your hopes. And it makes me beyond happy that I got the chance to know you. To truly know you." "Noah." Putting his drawing carefully to the side, Noah took his place beside Crow again. The grass was soft beneath them, softer than it ought to be, Noah thought, but he gave it no mind. He pulled close to Crow, so close he could feel Crow's heart beating steadily in his chest. The stars above were beginning to disappear, dark sky making way to orange and pink and red. The colors were vivid in their intensity. They painted every part of the world in bold strokes of color and life. They were almost blindingly beautiful. Noah didn't dare speak for fear of Crow being gone. He simply stared up at the beautiful palette that was the sky. Before long, dawn was well and truly breaking. Crow's voice broke the silence. "Would you look at that? Dawn is starting to break. It's just as beautiful as I always imagined." Noah's head turned towards Crow. His entire body was barely holding on to existence. Noah watched as the last of him disappeared, becoming a glitter that carried away on the wind. Tears streamed down his face. "I couldn't do anything. After all this time, I still couldn't do anything. I couldn't save the people that matter. Rosamete gave everything for this, and I still failed." His body was suddenly tired, his eyelids quickly closing. The color seemed to have dulled around him, as if mourning for the soul it had lost. Everything went black as his eyes finally closed, alone on the mountainside. "Aww." When Noah opened his eyes again, both the sunrise and the night sky were gone. The blazing sun sat heavy overhead, not one speck of cloud or haze in sight. Noah sat up slowly, looking at the empty space beside him. The world didn't look to have changed, and yet it did. There was an odd feeling in the air, a loneliness that affected the very earth itself. His eyes went to his sketchbook and gasped at what he saw there. Under the careful sketch of Crow was something else in the bottom corner of the page. He picked it up, peering in closer. "Call for me." It was a doodle, and not a particularly good one, of Noah himself. Next to it was a message. "You? I tried. Call for me when you struggle, and I will be there in your heart, always. I promise, now and forever." Aww. "This isn't over yet, is it? You did all this for me, and the least I can do is end things." Noah picked up his sketchbook, clutching it to his chest for a moment, until a sparkle in the sunlight caught his attention. He reached over, and sure enough, Crow's earring sat on the grass beside him. After gazing at it for a moment, he pocketed it carefully, and then, with his belongings in hand, he fell, and the world melted away before him. Everything was quiet in Noah's house. Either that meant that Ivan and Cain had tore each other apart, or one or both of them were no longer there. Noah tentatively opened his bedroom door and stepped out. Ivan, alone, sat on his couch, his feet up and the TV on loudly. Noah frowned. Where's Cain? Ivan pulled out a bag of chips and crunched loudly on them. Who? You know, the guy I told you to keep an eye on? He left. He noticed you were gone and stormed out. What? What was I supposed to do? Strap him down? No, thanks for covering for me. But I need your help again. Ivan raised an eyebrow. You seem to need my help more often than not. You're the only one I can depend on right now. Crow is... he's gone. What do you want me to do? Do you think it's possible to track a soul in a dream? Ivan crossed his arms over his chest and slightly tilted his head to the side. That man, the one that shot me, the one that did all this, he stole something from Rosamie. Her soul core? Could we use that to find him within a dream? Why should I tell you? Aren't we friends? Friends is a funny word to describe us. I'll tell you and I'll help you, but you'll pay the price for staying around me. Do you understand? Fine, you'll get whatever you want. He smirked lopsidedly. I'll make you regret that. Fine, it's probably possible. If you can enter a specific person's dream, then I don't see why you couldn't use someone's soul to do the same thing. Good. By the way, Rosamie, she... I don't care. Huh? Isn't she your family? I don't have a family. Whatever happened to her is none of my business, and I don't care. I mean, not to get on your bad side. Who says you aren't already there? I hope you're kidding. I suppose you'll never know. With a face like that, no, I don't think I can ever tell what you really mean. When Ivan made no move to stand, Noah crossed his arms. Are we going or not? I'm still eating. He nodded down to his bag of chips. Noah groaned, but turned away while he munched away on his couch. He pulled Crow's earring out of his pocket. Oh, goodness. I gotta drink. Throat's starting to go a little dry. Is it possible to bring things back from a dream? Like what? Just anything. Things that originate in dreams. Ivan crunched in consideration for a few more moments. No. Noah stared down at the earring. Didn't look particularly impressive, yet its implications gave him pause. I see. Ivan eyed him for a moment before turning back to the screen. You look like death. You're sure you're up for this right now? Don't tell me you actually care. I don't, really. I just won't be dragging your body back if you get yourself killed. I wouldn't expect you to. This is my responsibility. I'll take whatever consequences came from my actions. You've changed a lot. You think? Yeah. I guess we're not so similar after all. There seemed to be some disappointment hidden in Ivan's eyes as he stood, and he cut Noah off from replying just as he opened his mouth. Come on, let's go. Noah took one step towards Ivan before the floor dropped out from under them. Paintings flew off into the darkness, almost like shooting stars, before they completely disappeared. Get to see who the mysterious man is that's been killing the people that were mean to us. They both fell through that familiar darkness at a similar speed, the wind whipping their hair around their faces. It wasn't the first time, yet for some reason it felt like it could be the last. Noah's shoulder throbbed in pain, begging for rest, but Noah couldn't give himself rest. Not yet. Not while the final act was still waiting to play out. He braced himself for impact that came suddenly as light appeared in the distance. Ooh! Oh, shit. A moment later, Ivan crashed down beside him, landing carefully on one knee. Noah nearly groaned out loud as he knocked his shoulder, but instead he just bit his lip through the pain. The sound of an organ drifted to the pair's ears from places unseen. Noah quickly got to his feet, his eyes passing over everything quickly. They seemed to be in a church, an empty one. There were no doors out, and the world beyond the windows seemed to be nothingless. All that existed was this room, with rows and rows of empty pews and the casket that sat ahead of the pair. The air in the church felt heavy, carrying a sense of desolation and loneliness that Noah knew all too well. It was a hefty weight that sat against his shoulder, pushing him down, gnawing away at his resolution. Still, Noah shook it off. He was stronger than this place, this empty, quiet, lonely place. In a way, it reminded him of himself. Dust particles danced in the dim light that filtered through the glass windows. The nothingness beyond seemed to be drawing Noah in, inviting him to become nothingness himself. A church, huh? Is our killer a religious man? Ivan's voice broke through the almost silence that was filled with the haunting melody of the organ, which echoed through the large hall. Maybe. Noah's gaze fixated on the casket. It was brown and nondescript, with flowers on top of it. It was a little strange to Noah. He'd never been to a funeral before. Didn't we start the game in a funeral? Like August's funeral? What? Didn't we? The casket was almost the centerpiece of the somber room, as if it was a reminder of his own mortality. A reminder that everything he loved would one day die. That doesn't mean that love isn't worth it in the first place, does it? Noah's footsteps echoed softly as he approached the casket, his heart pounding with a mix of trepidation and determination. The air grew colder as he drew near, a chill that seeped into his bones. He didn't want to open it. He didn't want to see what was inside. But what other choice did he have? Ivan quickly walked to stand beside him. Does this make us grave robbers? Casket robbers at the very least. Noah reached out towards the lid of the casket, but froze as his hand came into contact with it. A shiver ran down his body as the haunting melody instantly faded away. Noah's eyes quickly found Ivan's, confirming they could both feel the change. Laughter echoed through the air, though it came from neither Ivan nor Noah. They both turned, and that's when they saw it. The room was no longer empty. It was filled with people, though people was probably not the correct term. Shadows of people. Phantoms. The phantoms filled the pews, their ethereal forms flickering in and out of existence. Their faces were obscured, their features distorted by a veil of darkness. They whispered and murmured, their voices blending into an eerie symphony of sorrow and longing. Noah felt a chill crawl up his spine as the phantoms swayed in unison, their movements synchronized with the haunting melody that once again filled the air. What the hell? It's just a dream, it's not real. Right. God, sometimes it's hard to remember that. In the center of it all was what looked like a young boy. His incorporeal form seemed to be curled into a tight ball on the ground. Two people stood above him, arguing as what could only be described as silent wails escaped him. But they didn't turn towards the boy or offer him love. Their words tore through the air like shards of broken glass, cutting him instead. Noah felt drawn to the boy, like he was being pulled towards him by some invisible force. He took a hesitant step forward, but Ivan grabbed his arm, holding him back. What are you doing? This could be important. Don't mess with it. He needs help. Since when did you care so much if someone needs help? It's not even real. The sad scene continued to play out in front of them. The adults, seemingly finished arguing, turned away from each other, disappearing into nothing. Ignoring Ivan's words and shaking off his hand, Noah crept closer to the young boy, whose shadowed face was etched with sadness and confusion. But before he could say anything, the boy disappeared, as did the rest of the phantoms, and Noah was left with an overwhelming sense of abandonment. What did I tell you? Can you feel that? Feel what? That heavy weight in your chest? Ivan simply shrugged. Noah wondered if the man felt anything at all. Noah stood there for a moment, his gaze fixed on the empty space where the young boy had been. The heaviness in his chest persisted, despite Ivan's indifference. With a pained heart, Noah's hand once again reached out to the coffin, ready to open it. This time, the shadowy whispers of the phantoms returned, offering a question. Who was abandoned? The boy. The voice disappeared at once, and three shadowy figures appeared in front of Noah and Ivan. The three figures stood before Noah and Ivan, their forms shifting and flickering in the dim light of the church. Their features were obscured by their presence, exuding an aura of loss and longing. It was different from the sense of abandonment that came from the young boy a moment ago. This was the feeling of friendship and love torn from your grips, a feeling Noah already knew well. Before he could reach out to the phantoms and ask them any questions, the first figure slowly raised a hand, Pointing towards Noah, a sorrowful sigh escaped. Oh my goodness. A sorrowful sigh. I will get the sentence correct. A sorrowful sigh echoed through the air. Friendship. Lost. Gone. Gone. Gone away. Alone. 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 Noah's heart tightened, his mind racing as he tried to make meaning of the whispered words. The second figure stepped forward, its voice barely a whisper, yet carrying the weight of 1,000 unshed tears. It pointed towards the coffin with its incorporeal hand. Buried, alone and buried, loss and pain and guilt and loneliness. The third figure, distinct from the others, remained still. It didn't point or speak up. It simply existed alone as the other two phantoms sunk to the ground and disappeared into nothingness. Only then did it finally say something. Alone. Lost and alone. And then it too disappeared. What's going on here? Doesn't need to make sense. It's a dream. Even dreams have meanings sometimes, Ivan. This all means something. Or it means nothing and you're just gazing into the mind of a madman. Ironic coming from you. Ivan shrugged. I've never disputed my sanity. Ignoring the strange man, Noah reached for the coffin once again, and this time wasn't surprised when the voice asked him a question. Who was left behind? Are these supposed to be different and I didn't figure something out? Like, oh, I did something wrong earlier in the game? The boy? The voice, just as last time, disappeared, and one phantom reappeared within the room. Its presence was different from the others, emanating a sense of determination and purpose. The phantom stood tall, its form shrouded in darkness. As Noah observed, he couldn't help but feel a pang of recognition, a flicker of familiarity. The young boy was abandonment. The young man was loneliness. The man, instead, seemed to be resolution. Who? His voice grated against Noah and Ivan's ears. I am the echo of decisions made. I am the path taken, forged in solitude and desperation. I am the savior and the future. I am the one who... Even Ivan was somewhat interested now, his arms crossed and his foot tapping against the carpeted floor. I am the one who carries the burden of choices, the consequences of actions taken. In the face of darkness I found resolve, the resolve to no longer be alone. The phantom of resolution's words hung in the air, their weight sinking into the hearts of Noah and Ivan. It was as if the phantom was revealing a part of himself that had long been hidden. Your resolve, it brought you to this moment. But what does it mean? What is your purpose? My purpose is to help you. The phantom's voice resonated with a mixture of remorse and determination, as if it was unsure of its path despite its resolution. By killing people? Yes. I am your crossroad. The phantom collapsed in on itself, becoming a dark mist that rolled along the floor. Wordlessly, for neither man had anything left to say, Noah reached back towards the coffin, the voice reaching back out to him in turn. Who would do anything to help you? But in place of an answer, the lid of the coffin opened and smoke filled the room, clouding Noah's vision. He coughed and spluttered, desperately trying to fan it away from him, and Ivan did the same before it suddenly cleared from the room, and in front of the coffin stood a man that Noah knew well, a man Noah thought he knew well. Cain, why is it you? Why is it you here? Cain's face was a mask of sadness. It was a lonely face. Why? Tell me why. I don't have any answer for you that will make you feel better. The room fell silent as Noah and Cain's eyes locked. The weight of their own unspoken history hung heavily between them. Noah's heart ached, torn between longing for answers and the fear of what those answers might bring. Tell me anyway. Explain to me how this could be true. Cain took a deep breath, his gaze faltering for a moment. I just wanted to help you move forward. Really? Is that all it was? Ivan's mocking voice called from behind. I think it's more selfish than that, don't you? What? I wanted to help you, Noah. I wanted to get rid of all the people who hurt you. You wanted to not be alone any longer. You wanted to save him and have him depend on you. No, I wanted to help, but you hated the idea of anyone else helping him. You hated Crow. He's bad for you, Noah. He's not August. He'll just hold you in the past. He's dead. And he was the one that helped me move on. The room grew tense as the truth hung heavy in the air. Noah's voice wavered with a mix of emotions, his heart torn between the friend he had once trusted and the truth of his actions. Why is it you, Kane? Once again, I've lost a person who cared for me more than anything else. What about me? Kane's voice trembled with a mix of hurt and desperation. You did all of this in secret. You killed people, Kane. How could you ever think that more death would help me heal? Because those people were keeping you in the past. No, you're still not listening. To run away from the past, to pretend it never happened, then I might as well throw away all the good things that happened back then too. Our friendship, meeting August, the rare times when Ash and I would actually get along, everything Rose and me gave me. There was happiness amidst that sadness, Kane, and I'm not ready to give that up. But they made you suffer, and I'm ready to move on from that. Not to forget, not to get rid of the past, but to move forward. Thanks to Crow, you don't get to decide what or who is best for me. By now, Kane's eyes were downcast, his face etched with guilt and shame. Noah's heart wavered between anger and a flicker of compassion. He saw the remorse in Kane's eyes, the genuine regret for the pain he had inflicted. And yet he couldn't give him forgiveness, couldn't excuse him for his actions. This wasn't an apology to receive. The only people who Kane could beg for forgiveness were already dead. Rosamie was my friend, whether you knew that or not. And now she's dead. She gave her life so I could see Crow one last time, and now he's dead too. Ivan shifted in place, but didn't say anything. My parents are dead, Luca's dead, a handful of people from back home that I hadn't thought of in years are dead, just because you thought I'd want that. I hated them. I'll never forgive them, but Noah's hand balled into a fist at his side. You understand, don't you? I don't need to say it. You really picked someone that doesn't even exist over your friendship with me. His words were gentle, as if he didn't really want Noah to have heard them. But he did. I picked the future. What do you want me to do then? I'm just a murderer. Noah looked towards Ivan as if asking for some kind of support, but Ivan just shrugged. Go hand yourself in. If we're still friends, then you'll do that for me. Kane smiled, but it wasn't like his usual smiles. His smile was usually bright, kind, and charismatic. This one seemed to be a shadow of that, one filled with self-hate and loathing. We're not friends, Noah. That much is obvious to me now. But I'll do it, still. Aww. Kane turned around. His back, for once, looked awfully small. Noah hadn't even noticed that he'd reached out towards him as if to comfort him when the impact hit him. A blunt strike to the back of his head and everything went black. Told you, didn't I? That you'd pay the price for staying around me? Nothing personal. Work is just work. Ivan, you bitch! Pain ran through both his shoulder and his head. Everything was dark, empty, devoid of light and life. Noah slowly regained consciousness, his head pounding and his vision blurry. Found himself lying on the ground, surrounded by silence. He struggled to make sense of his surrounding, his mind still groggy from the blow to his head. As his vision cleared, he noticed he was still within the dream, though no one else was present. He pushed himself up, wincing at the pain in his head and shoulder. Felt like his arm was bleeding again from the movement, but he was pleased to see no blood came from the back of his head when he checked with his hand. Fuck, that hurt. Kane? Ivan? Is anyone there? His voice echoed through the empty chamber. There was no response. The room remained silent, except for the soft crackling of lit candles around the room. Noah turned to leave. That was Ivan, wasn't it? Where did Cain go? I need to go find them. Noah froze in place. Something bright caught his eye from where Cain had been standing before. A small ball of light. Rosami's soul core? Noah rushed over to it, reaching out to carefully cup it. But just as his hand came into contact with the wispy light, it exploded outwards. Light filled the room so bright that Noah had to shield his eyes. Make a wish. Make a wish and pray. What? The light was quickly fading. He didn't have time to think about it. All he could do was shut his eyes tight and make a wish. Please, please, Crow, come back. Silence followed his pleas as he opened his eyes again. The light was gone, and the room had returned to its somber quietness. Nothing had changed. So much for a wish. Noah turned again, this time ready to leave the stream behind before it became dangerous. The fact that this was Cain's dream, yet Cain was no longer here, made him fear staying too long. That familiar feeling in his stomach, like everything was being flipped and turned upside down, returned as the world faded away into... As he fell, Noah's eyes went wide. The usual dark expanse of nothingness that was the space between dreams and reality was gone, and in its place was a blazing white. Fragments of what looked like broken glass flew by him in the opposite direction, and in each one he saw him. A piece of Crow, a memory, their first meeting so long ago in a fantasy land that fell down around them, sitting upon a cloud, gazing out at the beyond. Crow's happiness and his loneliness and his love, all of it. Noah's heart pounded in his chest as he reached out, determined to grasp hold of those shattered fragments of memories. The swirling white space around him seemed to resist his efforts, as if trying to keep him from his destination, but Noah was resolute. He pressed forward, the memories passing by him in a whirlwind. The pain of the memories, the joy, the laughter, and the tears, they all surged through him, driving him forward. They felt warm. They felt like home. Slowly, piece by piece, each part of him came together. The fragments, once broken and scattered, now blazed with an intensity that filled the space around Noah. The light pulsed and danced, swirling and intertwining. And then, as if only natural, he was there. A man with blonde hair and green eyes shut tightly in his arms. Together they fell, enveloped by light, their bodies intertwined until they reached reality. Reality? Like, is he coming back with us? Noah braced for impact, but found his landing softened by his bed. Still, enjoy your lurking. Still, his shoulders screamed at him for all of the movement, and Noah was certain he'd regret it later. Still, that didn't matter. Not now. Not when, in a panic, he looked down into his arms and saw Crow with his eyes shut, gently sleeping. Crow! Noah wrapped his arms around Crow, holding him close, feeling the rise and fall of his chest with each breath. The weight of Crow's presence in his arms reassured Noah. This was real. Crow was here, and he was whole. Tears instantly welled up in Noah's eyes. Crow! Crow, it's really you! You're really here! Crow shifted slightly, and soon enough his long eyelashes fluttered open. Noah? Crow, you're here! You're really here! I missed you. I missed you so much. I thought you were gone. His eyes were sleepy, but he instantly sat up as he noticed Noah's teary eyes. What happened? We were watching the sunrise and then... Are we still in that dream? Noah shook his head, then reached out to brush a strand of hair away from Crow's face. His touch was gentle, as if Crow was so fragile he'd simply disappear. Noah, your shoulder! Crow's eyes went to Noah's shirt, which was already red with blood. I'll worry about it after. Noah, you have to go back and... Come on, come with me. Noah stood and put his hand out to Crow, who took it tentatively. He rose to his feet as well and followed behind Noah as he pulled him along. Past his living room, filled with paintings, through the hall beyond and down the elevator. Until they were under the blue sky, the sun blazing far above them. People rushed to and fro, cars beeped as they were caught in a traffic jam, and the sound of the world alive filled their ears. Crow looked on with wide, shocked eyes. The bustling city streets seemed to overwhelm him as he took in the sights and sounds of the vibrant world around him.
This is reality?
Yeah, it is.
I'm...
His hands went to himself. He felt his face, his clothes, his hair, as if searching for something that wasn't real.
I'm real?
You've always been real, Crow. Right from the very start. That's what you told me. That you existed and that was enough.
How?
Rosamie, I think it was her. Her soul. It shattered, and in those shattered fragments I saw you, Crow. I made a wish and somehow it brought you back to me. Crow's hand found Noah's. It was an act of gratitude, of anxiousness, of fear, and love for the future.
What do I do now?
Stay with me. Please.
Noah, I was yours from so long ago. Of course I'll stay.
The two kissed, their bodies intertwined. Hand in hand, they faced the world, a world that had shut its doors and both men long ago. Now, together, they could face their future. Wait, that's the fucking end? Wait, hold on. What about Ivan? Why did Ivan beam us in the back of the head? What happened to Crow? Crow just, walked away. How is that an end? Okay, cool, Crow came back to life, but, what? Excuse me? How? There are so many questions! Hold on. I know there's other endings to this game, but I can't believe that that's the end. Okay. We searched for them. We searched tirelessly for months. Kane was gone. No! Kane was gone. His apartment was empty. A missing persons case was picked up by the police, but they couldn't find a trace of him anywhere. As for Ivan, there was no official search conducted for him. The world carried on, oblivious to his absence except for us. We scoured every corner, questioning everyone who might have had connection to them, but it seemed as though they had become ghosts, fading away from the memories of those who once knew them. The two, like petals on the wind, disappeared. No matter where we searched, no matter who we spoke to, it was like neither man ever existed in the first place. The weight of the search bore heavily on my shoulders. The burden of uncovering the truth, piercing together the fragments of their lives, and understanding the reasons behind their sudden departure was almost suffocating. Yet, despite the uncertainty and the weariness that settled within our hearts, we found solace in the moments we shared together, Crow and me. Months turned into a blur as we persevered, refusing to give up hope. We searched for Daisy, eager to pass on Rosamie's message, but couldn't find a trace of her. But those months were spent together, and together we watched every sunrise and sunset and moved on to share our future. Oh, look it, he's gone! What the fuck? That's cool! Sorry, I'm geeking out, but that was cool because the whole time throughout this entire game, August has been right there. And now he's gone. Oh. Okay, we're going back here. And we're gonna skip through most of this until the part with August, not August, Crow. Because we lean towards him. What if we don't? Questions I need answered. Whee! Zooming. We are zooming. Woo! Hi, Kane. Bye, Kane. Okay, take me to the part where I get to choose. Okay, now save. Hold on. Quick save. So, I just heard crackling in my headphones, and that shit better not be happening again. Anyway, we're gonna shy away from him this time and see what happens. Noah pulled back even further. I created you? All this time, I was the one that made you? You suffered all this time, and it's my fault. My actions made you hurt.
I could never be him for you. I have memories of him, you know.
Okay, well, we can skip this part. So they still kiss.
The person on that paper, does it look like Crow or August to you?
Ooh, I'm breaking this poor guy's heart, but I'm curious to see. Noah stared at his drawing and thought for a moment. I'd be lying if I said I didn't see August in the drawing.
I see.
Wait a second. What I see in the drawing is August giving you his permission to live, to exist, to be happy as yourself. I see in this drawing a person who finally can let himself be himself. I suppose what I'm trying to say is I see two people in this drawing, and that's okay.
Noah.
Putting his drawing carefully to the side, Noah took his place beside Crow. Okay. When Noah opened his eyes again, both the sunrise and the night sky were gone. The blazing sun sat heavy overhead, not one speck of cloud or haze. Noah sat up slowly, looking at the empty space beside him. Oh, I can't skip. His eyes went to his sketchbook, and he gasped at what he saw there. Under the careful sketch of Crow was something else in the bottom corner of the page. Is it still... Okay, so that's all still the same. You gave everything for me, devoted everything to me. Least I can do is repay your kindness with my own effort, right? Something glittered. Okay. I won't waste what you've given me, I promise. His belongings back in hand, Noah stood and looked around the world one last time before falling from it. Okay. Everything was quiet in that main... Okay, why can't I skip? Oh shoot, there was something different there. Good job keeping an eye on Kane. Ivan shrugged. He wanted to leave. What was I supposed to do about it? Nothing, I guess. Did he say why? Ivan shook his head. I don't know. He looked kind of upset, but I didn't ask him why. Unlike him to leave while I'm hurt. How'd it go? Crow's gone. So was Rosamy. Noah expected Ivan to react in some kind of way, particular to the news about Rosamy, but his face didn't even twitch. Alright. That's all you have to say? People die all the time. Wasn't she your family? I don't have a family. Whatever, there's no point in arguing with you of all people. Noah's house was much like before, a complete and total dump. Paint clung to the floorboards, abandoned canvases. He'd never had much furniture, and yet he could barely move through the place without bumping into something. Noah picked up his phone with the intent to call Kane, but found first a text from an unknown number. I'm sorry. Thought I knew what you wanted. I was wrong. Noah stared at the messages. First he tried to reply, but the texts were undeliverable. Then he tried to call, but it went straight to voicemail. He didn't recognize the number, and yet he knew who had sent the messages in his heart. He pocketed his phone, then turned towards the pink pot plant that still thrived despite everything. Noah opened his hand and found Crow's earring still sitting in his palm. He blinked in surprise, then smiled. Carefully, he placed Crow's earring in the soil. Ignoring the fact that Ivan still hadn't moved from his place, Noah closed his eyes and whispered, Thank you, Crow. It's about time I left, too. What happened to the I live here act? It's all over, isn't it? I think so. Fun is over, too. See ya. Well, probably not. Ivan stood as if that were all the words needed between them and opened this front door. It's good to have friends, Noah. Just one annoying friend, though. Wait a second. What if we were friends? Then would I see you again? Ivan smirked. Maybe, if you keep things interesting. Door shut behind him and Noah was alone. And so, Noah did what Noah does best. He sat in front of his easel, raised a hand, paintbrush between his fingers, and he painted. Line after line, canvas after canvas, until the world around him faded away. All he had was the feeling of his brush on the surface, the colors falling in bright streams onto the canvas. The sun set outside beyond the walls and boarded shut windows, but inside there were only paints and canvases. Everything else vanished into nothingness. And when dawn broke once more, it seemed to be brighter than ever before. It seemed as if Noah could feel it within his very soul, even if he couldn't see it. And only then did he sit back from his paintings and look at what he'd created. Masterpieces. Every single one of them was brimming with life and light. Sunsets and sunrises, stars and moons and suns, waterfalls and lakes and rivers. Everything that he wished to show Crow. Because though his hand and through his heart, he sure Crow could see them. Painted the beauty of all the seasons, autumn leaves glowing like fire against a blue sky, winter twinkling in icy blues, while spring blushed in pale yellows and summer exploded into fiery delight. These paintings were life. They were Crow. The world is filled with hate and with lies, with pain and sadness and isolation, enough so that people drown in it. But there's more than that, too. There's hope and love and beautiful things hidden between the unbeautiful. You were that beautiful thing, hidden deep in the darkest corner. I was hate, and I was lies. I was pain and sadness and isolation, and you gave me hope and love and the future. Thank you, Crow. Thank you for giving me everything. I feel like I'm still just as confused. Things had changed in the months since Crow had disappeared. The killings had indeed stopped, and the police and media were baffled by the unsolvable case. Mostly, Noah ignored the news now. Kane had moved back to their hometown without a single word. Noah only knew because a letter arrived, finally telling him where he'd gone. Noah still had his suspicions about Kane, but he decided to trust in his friend above anything else. When it came to friends, Noah and Ivan probably still weren't there, but they occasionally spent time together when Ivan deigned to visit him, which was usually in the middle of the night with no warning whatsoever. But probably the biggest change of all was within Noah himself. He went back to school, got a job teaching beginners painting on the weekends. Still didn't think he was particularly good with people, but they all seemed to enjoy his teaching. It was a welcome change for Noah. It reminded him of the time he'd painted with August. And now, the crowd chattered as they walked between the lines of student paintings. Each one had been painted by one of Noah's classmates, each artist bringing their own interpretation of what future meant to them. Noah stood back slightly from the crowd, admiring his painting. Future to him was bright. Bright enough to light up the darkness that would otherwise overwhelm him. It was Crow. The love Crow had shown him, the future he'd helped him to find, a future that still remembered the past while allowing for what came next. Noah smiled at his work and watched the crowd around it. Even though many hadn't taken in any details beyond the color and composition, they couldn't take their eyes off the piece. Some of them murmured softly under their breaths or pointed out elements here and there, nodding slowly in approval. They'd never know what it meant to Noah, what future meant to Noah. But that didn't matter. They'd all come to their own conclusions and take their own piece of Noah home with them. That was what art was. Finding your own interpretation within a canvas with endless meaning. He sipped at the drink in his hand as his eyes went to a window that faced outside. A steady stream of people came in and out, either simply to view the paintings or scouting out painters to purchase from. More than a few people had approached him that night to offer to purchase his painting, but Noah couldn't part with this one. He watched his reflection in the glass for a moment before his gaze caught on someone outside the window, facing towards him with a smile on their face. Someone with blonde hair and deep green eyes. Noah near dropped everything he was holding and rushed out the door. But when he arrived outside, no one was there. You came to see, didn't you? What I've achieved thanks to you? Noah's eyes went back inside, where a group of 10 or so people were surrounding his painting, pointing out details with interest. Thank you, Crow. Okay, but what about Cain? Cain okay, well, I guess Cain was a murderer, so I'm here but what about Cain? To be fair, he was a little obsessive, and maybe went about it the wrong way, but he was just trying to, do right by his friend, because all those people had definitely hurt his friend in some pretty significant ways. I don't think he's that bad. But on that note, I think we're good. We have officially finished Dreambound. I probably won't go through and do